says to me, he says, Aaron, you're my horse if you never win a race. And that's how I feel about you, buddy. You are my horse if you never win a race, and I hope that we get to do this until we're old men.
Yeah,
so
we are.
Well, older men, I guess, as Brad Jones shakes his hand. He's, oh, God, shut up. But I've had a lot of fun, guys. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Jonathan McGuffin, Chris Brickey, our cameramen that do such a great job all season long as well. Chandler sitting here, Chandler Jones keeping stats for us.
And security.
And just supporting everything. And, wow, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't want to get off the air. But let's go ahead and do it so that they can wrap everything up. It's been great. I hope you've enjoyed this season as much as I have. And right now, we will get prepared to send it back to the BBB TV Channel 12 studios for the Friday Night Scoreboard show brought to you by 5 Star Preps. So, for James Gibson, Brad Jones, the rest of the crew, so long, folks.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the hot water wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Renai, hot water for all.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 110,000 participants here in Tennessee who take part in high school sports.
Breaker, good buddy. We've just rolled in from Georgia with a truckload of throw rugs. That was back in my truck driving days, many years ago. Rugs are still rolling in from Georgia every month, featuring Oriental and contemporary area rugs, carpet-style throw rugs, and much more. All rugs are sold at the lowest prices possible. Find your rug at Hammer Stores.
I am a Simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a Simplicity dealer.
S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years, and constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
And welcome to the 5-Star Prep Friday Night Scoreboard. And folks, if you're looking at the screen, you've seen this last week. This is not a replay. Jody Wright decided he had so much fun, he wanted to come back with us this week. He's glutton for punishment. So we're glad to have everybody here tonight. Hey, guys, week 10, or week 11, rather, in the books. So it's been a struggle this year for some teams, and some teams have not had problems. But for everybody to make it through the high school football season, I tip my hat to you, and hopefully all the social distance and everything will continue on through the playoffs. But I think this is when it's going to get crucial, Jody.
It really is, and this is the time of year that, again, the coaches work for. And again, David, as we talked about a little bit last week, we've already seen a couple of instances where teams have had to forfeit. There we go, forfeit out of the playoffs, and I think that's very conceivable that we'll see that moving forward. I told a coach the other day, I said, think about this possibility. So the state championship game is the week after Thanksgiving. So what happens at Thanksgiving? Large gatherings, people all get together, and then that following week, you know, we're going to play state championships in football. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility to think that we could have a game that was not able to be played due to COVID.
Let me ask you a question. What happens if you had two teams in the championship final and both of them couldn't play? What would happen? Would they reschedule then?
No, I don't think. I think it would just be vacated.
Just be vacated?
And
wow.
That has happened when you've had a game that has had to be where maybe a team on the back end has had an ineligible player or something has come to play. So that championship is just vacated.
Well, what comes to mind with me would be like state basketball this past year not happening. You know, I think we got to be real careful here. It's could be touchy. So.
It really is, and going to be interesting. It adds another layer of excitement, certainly, to the playoffs.
Yeah, it does. So I just hate to know I was undefeated right now, and a lot of things hinged on something I didn't have control over. Because you don't really have control over that.
You don't.
I mean, there's no control over it.
No.
So
unless you tell your kids not to go get tested.
Well, I mean, that's
the only control that you have.
And I'm sure there's coaches out here that would do that. I hope there's not, but I'm sure they are. I mean, you know, you just hope that doesn't happen. So that's the only thing I can say about that. But, you know, I don't know.
Did Austin East go winless this year?
They lost tonight.
They lost tonight 28-7.
Yes.
Wow. When's the last time that's happened? Or has it ever happened?
Yeah, I want to say it happened maybe 6-7 years ago, maybe. I think they had 0-10, or it was either 0-10 or 1-9. I don't know for exact certain, but they did have a down year, and I want to say it was around maybe I don't know if it was 12, 13, 14, somewhere around in there.
Hey, what about the team? Is it Hancock County that's not won a game this year, and they're going to the playoffs?
I'm not sure.
There's a team that's 0 and whatever going to the playoffs. There's only 4 teams in the region.
Okay.
I mean,
well, that's the same thing
I think it's Hancock. I think it is. I might be wrong on that.
So Greenback's going to be the 3 seed.
Greenback's going to be the 3 seed through the back door there, it looks like.
Yeah.
Well, in that region, in the 5A, would that be Region 4? That's only 4 teams, and so all 4 qualify for the playoffs.
I can't remember who. I won't say it's Hancock, but I could be wrong.
Oliver Springs wins tonight 14-7.
Yeah, Oliver Springs won 4 out of the last after dropping the first 4 games. They win 5 out of the next 6.
By the way, I told you that Kingsport Dobbins Bennett would not score last night, and they scored on defense.
Yeah, true.
So their offense didn't score a touchdown.
I don't understand. I mean, didn't look too bad to me. They just, I mean,
didn't see it.
I just don't see the big threat that everybody's thought they're going to dethrone Maryville this year. I didn't see it. So they didn't look too bad, but I mean, same DB to me.
Yeah. Science Hill, if they'd have won tonight, they'd have been the 1 seed. Instead, they lost to the 4 seed coming to Maryville.
You know, when I think of Dobbins Bennett, David, you know, you go back into the, you know, the 80s when there was some really solid football up there, Jeff County.
Yep.
But I mean, how many times did we see in the 80s and 90s DB go 10-0 and lose in the second round of the playoffs, or losing the first round sometimes, I mean, I don't recall, and I couldn't tell you when the last time that we've seen a DB team make it to the even to the semifinals. And they've won a lot of ball games up there, football-wise.
Oh, yeah, they have. They got an impressive place to play football, but that's about it right now, I guess. So, but anyway, you know, Science Hill knocks DB. I don't know if it's a knockoff now, knocking DB off last week. Then come to Bearden tonight and pretty much get beat 27-7, I think is what the final was. So Bearden started off the year 0-2, but I don't know, they've come back and won a couple games this year.
They were 0-4.
They're 0-4, right?
And now they're the
had some problems with COVID. I think the first couple of weeks or something, they were COVID out. So the COVID virus has affected everybody this year in football, and we just hope these next weeks that it doesn't affect us. But I'm afraid it might. I don't see if that's Hancock. I can't remember who that is up there. They're 0 for this year, and they've not won a game. But was Maryville on? Did Maryville play tonight, guys? Does anybody know?
Yes, they won.
They won. Mexico County wins pretty big.
beat Kingston tonight. Was that at Kingston?
I think so, Cox.
Yes.
So Greenback's the 3 seed.
Oliver Springs is 2.
2. Coalfield's 1.
Coalfield's 1, and Midway is 4.
So if you're Oliver Springs, you love where you are. You're the 2 seed. You stay away from Coalfield and Greenback until, what, 3rd round?
3rd round, probably. Yeah, something like that.
So does Fulton go to Ray County?
Yes.
And Walker Valley is where?
Oak Ridge. Is that right?
No, Powell goes to Walker Valley.
Powell goes to Walker Valley. I think, was it Saudi that comes to Oak Ridge?
Saudi come to Oak Ridge?
Think so.
And then that would leave Lenore City coming to West?
Yes. Yep, Lenore City going to West. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's exactly how it is. So you have Dobbins Bennett playing Cleveland in the first round. Cleveland won on a last-second touchdown. You have Bearden going to McMinn County, Bradley Central coming to Farragut, and Science Hill going to Maryville in 6A. Yeah.
That might be a trip I just don't make.
In 5A, you got Fulton going to Ray County, Saudi Daisy coming up to play Oak Ridge, Walker Valley going to Powell, West Lenore City.
Walker going to Powell.
Powell going to Walker Valley.
Yeah.
Has Fulton played Ray County before, Jody?
Played them last year.
Played them last year?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. Down there, too?
Yes.
Or down there, too? All right.
Yep. Morristown East, that where Caleb Slover?
Yes.
He will travel to Central round 1.
You know, that's not a bad matchup for Caleb, and they've got those guys. They picked up. There's a David, you know him. There's a basketball official up there in that Morristown area. I think his name's Bo Simpson.
Yep.
Got a son. Really stud basketball player. I think he's playing football this year. Set a record a couple weeks ago for touchdown passes caught in a game. And I think they got a really good quarterback up there. That could be a tough matchup for Central.
So who is it? Is it Greenville, Elizabethan? Who else up on that end, Cox? Off the top of your head, if you know.
Yeah, so Elizabethan will play. Yeah, Elizabethan will play Hickson. East Hamilton will play Sullivan South. Howard will play Greenville. Anderson County will host Granger. And then obviously if Anderson County wins, they will be playing Greenville in the second round.
Is that at Greenville?
No,
all of them at Anderson County?
Anderson County plays all the way at home into the semifinals.
To the semifinals?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get a line here. We might as well get started with it. Quick caller, you're on the air.
guest.
Go ahead.
Can you tell me who Olive Springs is going to play in a playoff game?
Hold on just a second. We'll tell you here in just a second.
Yes, Oliver Springs will host Jellicoe.
Jellicoe.
At Olive Springs?
Yes. Anything else?
No, thank you.
You're welcome. Quick caller, you on the air?
Yeah, Clinton just beat Carnes 42-33.
Wow, okay, thank you.
And Loudon got shut out 13-0.
Who'd they get me by?
Red Bank.
Red Bank. Okay. All right. Thanks, we appreciate it.
Okay.
Thanks. Quick caller, you on the air?
Well, Clinton broke 2 records tonight.
What's that?
They scored 42 points and won a game.
Okay. All right, they was close last week. They're turning the corner, I think, so we'll see.
But let me ask you this question. Why are they playing Heritage next week?
I think Heritage had a COVID game out, and Clinton had a couple too, so I think they're allowed to play that. And this guy down here on the end can tell me if I'm right. I think they're allowed to play that 11th game, Jody.
The TLSAA allowed schools to play an 11th game this year due to the fact that very few schools would play a full schedule. If you didn't qualify for the playoffs, the rules say you can only play 10 games in that 11-game week that is normally scheduled. But one of the proposals that came before the board was allowing schools to play an extra game at the end because, again, many schools would be in a situation that they didn't play a full 10-game schedule.
There you go, caller. There's the answer.
Would that be a district game since Clinton plays Heritage in the district?
It's not a district game.
It's non-district.
Non-district game?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thanks, man. All right, yeah, Clinton's got a game. I think they picked up a game with Heritage for 11th game or 12th game or whatever it is. So.
And that's a good move for Clinton. I mean, you're trying to
turn the program,
trying to grow your program. You didn't get to have spring practice. You didn't get to have a lot of your 7-on-7 stuff in the summer. You're trying to play catch up. So
new
again,
coach and everything.
New coach and yeah, I think it's a good move.
Quick caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, so did Clinton play Knox West or Carnes? I'm confused.
Clinton played Carnes tonight.
Okay, thanks.
All right, you're welcome. Let's don't get it confused. We just played Carnes tonight, so I didn't know if Clinton would be able to contain Carnes' running game. They got a pretty good running back at Carnes, so that sort of shocks me a little bit, but not really. Clinton played really well last week and had a chance to win the game and missed an extra point.
I was told today that Clinton was, or the staff at Campbell County was really surprised that Clinton did not go for 2. I think they had to send their backup kicker out to kick that extra point last week.
I don't know about that. I know the reason they didn't go for 2 and played for overtime. I know the reason why they done that. The coach thought they'd played such a good game, he hated to go for 2 and lose the ball game, going for 2 possibly. Thought if he could kick the field goal, tie it up, then play squared up in overtime, you know, was his reckoning with it. So that's what I was told anyway.
Hindsight's always, you know.
You never, you know, it's easy, I guess, to say.
I heard it wasn't blocked. I heard he kicked it into the line.
I don't have any idea about. I don't have any idea about that. That was because I asked the question to somebody. I asked him, why didn't he go for 2? And that's what he was. Kids had fought so hard to come back and to get to that point. I wanted to give them a chance just to get it straight in overtime and see what they could do in overtime.
Gotcha.
So that's what they did.
And if it works out, I mean, you know, again, you're a genius. And if it doesn't,
you're the GOAT.
You're the GOAT. That's one of the things that again, I told a young coach this the other day. I said I think there's a couple requirements for any coach in any sport, and number one, I think you got to be able to multitask, but also you got to be able to think on your feet, and you got to be able to process a lot of information in a very short period of time. And you know, you don't have time to go through all the analytics of all this right here, and sometimes it's just the feel that you have in your gut. But it's again, some of those work out, and sometimes they don't.
Well, I think it's took Clinton. You know, you talked about it. No spring practice, no summer stuff, everything. I think it just took Clinton all this time to maybe if they'd have had spring practice and summer workouts in the 7-on-7, might have been a completely different season. Don't have no way of knowing
They go
that.
through a tough run in their schedule.
Yeah.
What is it? Oak Ridge, Powell, West, Fulton?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in that exact order, but
It's
you're
those
right.
four in a row.
It's those four. There's 4 in a row like that. It's pretty tough schedule. I told somebody when they was out for COVID, I think they missed the West game. I said, I just went ahead and went one more week and missed Oak Ridge too. Because it wasn't good coming back just to play Oak Ridge, after you'd been out. So that's what I said. I just went ahead and missed Oak Ridge too. But
and whoever did the scheduling, think about it. They had McMinn and CAK both on the schedule. Are both those teams undefeated?
Megs.
Yeah, Megs.
Megs is undefeated.
Yeah,
I haven't seen the CAK Webb score tonight.
CAK beat Webb tonight.
The previous administration or football coach thought Meigs County would be a wash. They just didn't realize how good a team Meigs County really was, which is a really good football team.
Well,
62-8.
And your region, Jonathan, in football, you draw the weeks. There's the display sets the weeks that you play. I think it's 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, then goes to 10, and then you draw you kind of draw numbers. So it's almost predetermined, as far as how that goes. It was just a tough. You're right. That's a tough.
Because I think it's those 4 in a row.
Hey, let me ask this question. This was going to be my question. You not cock, but I'll ask both of you this: is Alcoa dangling a carrot a little bit by saying they don't know if they're going to ask to play up or not?
They didn't.
They already turned it. When was the deadline?
The deadline was yesterday.
Yesterday. So they didn't?
They did not.
Okay.
I talked to their AD last night.
Okay. Well, there was just some talk last night that they weren't going to reveal what they had done to the last minute. So sort of left you think they might be dangling a carrot.
Yeah, I had talked to Josh Stevens early in the process, and he was kind of asking me where he thought region-wise. And, he made a good point. He said that really their fan base in Alcoa it's a unique place. It really is. I mean, small community, but that has success in a lot of areas. Academic success. It's a small version of Oak Ridge, really, as far as academic excellence and athletic excellence. But they've got a fan base that's just kind of disinterested a little bit. I mean, again, you think about, so I'll ask you guys this question. When's the last time Alcoa has had a region football game or a playoff football game that's been within 20 points?
Well, I'd say when they lost to CPA.
Probably lost to CPA, or you got to go back into the CAK days with Charlie High, and that was 2009, 10, somewhere around in there.
So pre-state championship game in the area, CAK.
Probably. So
are you saying people in Alcoa's tired of winning?
No.
I think they're bored.
But again, I don't think it's hard to get excited when you're playing a Gatlinburg Pittman or a Pigeon Forge that you're going to win by 40 or 50 points.
Or you got to travel to Johnson City or Murphy.
And again, they're going up. They're non-region games where, of course, they had to play. They had to go to Dobbins Bennett, and they played Blackman, and they played Maryville. Of course, they'll always play Maryville. But I think that was one of the things that, from an athletic director's side, that he was looking at about getting into a different region. And they would be able to compete. Don't sit here and kid yourself that they couldn't go up to 4A and
win it
and be really, really, really good. But it would give them a new teams, new faces in the playoffs. Again, instead of it being again a Loudon and a Gatlinburg and stuff like that, it would probably be again an Anderson County, a Greenville, Elizabeth in the playoffs. So, but all in all, they decided against moving up.
If you look at what that region could have been, you could have had Anderson County, Fulton, Gibbs, South Doyle, Alcoa. And that turns into a pretty good region.
Really good region.
Yeah. It's a really good region. That ought to get the fan base excited.
Yeah, you're going to have good gates.
You're going to have good gates and stuff. I mean, Anderson County travels well and stuff like that. So that would be some really good gates there. So, but I don't know. They just said that last night, and I thought that was interesting. They were holding out. I didn't know when the deadline was, so that's why I asked the question. Let's get a phone call here. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, I'd like to know who would Kingston be playing in first-round playoffs?
Who's Kingston play first-round, Kyle? You said it a while ago, not where you said.
Let's see. Kingston will play. I don't know Kingston's opponent just yet.
We don't know Kingston.
I know they'll be the 3 seed, but I do not know who their opponent will be. They will play on the road, and they will be on Alcoa's side of the bracket. But I do not know who Kingston will play just yet.
We don't know yet.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Great caller, you're on the air. I can't hear you.
I said Anderson County 154 to 0.
Yes. That's correct.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. I think she said Anderson County 154 nothing. That's correct. I think that's what the final was, 54 nothing. Anyway, appreciate everybody. Give us a call, 483-8112. We'll try to answer your playoff questions if we can. If Cox can get everything going here. So,
Sorry, I do not know who Kingston or Alcoa will play. The other side of the bracket, Claiborne's the 1 seed. Pigeon Forge goes to Claiborne County. Who's their stud up there? Is that a quarterback or a running back?
Claiborne?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I heard here a week or two ago to this talking about what good they've had a really good season.
Running back.
It's a running back.
Running back.
They've had a really good season up in Claiborne County.
Yeah.
It's been a really good season.
Yeah, I think he rushed for over 1,500 yards, and they've only played like 8 or 9 games due to COVID. Yeah, he's
the real deal.
Yeah.
So,
and if you're going back to the Alcoa thing, if you are the Kingstons and the Gatlinburgs and the Pigeon Forge of the world, they had to be hoping that Alcoa moves up.
Well, here's how one of the side of things of so I was looking on that today to see what schools. So West Tennessee, Milan High School, historically back in the old days was a single A power. Of course, then they went to multiple classifications. They've been a very, very solid 3A football team. They went up to 4A. Now, I'll see the principal Milan here, sometime here in the next couple of weeks, and I will ask him that. But now, again, was that a byproduct of we can compete with everybody around here, but we can't get to Cookeville and beat Alcoa? So I don't know.
That's what it sounds like. Just what it sounds like. I don't know if it is or not. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. And I don't know the exact wording of this, and we'll find this out. But in the state of Georgia, if you win 3 consecutive state championships in football, you're automatically bumped. Is that correct?
It's a success-based classification. That there's a quota-based. It's about your records and all that things right there. And the problem with that right there, it gets into again geography. That you could be again based in a classification where you're not playing any of the schools around you.
Like a Greenback. That could happen to Greenback if they won 2 or 3 in a row.
Yeah, and now Greenback's
they're traveling to Knoxville every weekend.
Traveling to Knoxville, or better yet, can you imagine, again, Maryville? Of course, they're in the highest classification, but, you could get, in some pockets, you could get a school where they're not playing anybody around them. They're bumped up a classification, and now they're traveling an hour and a half, 2 hours. So that has never gotten any traction in the state of Tennessee. That has been discussed before, but due to the uncertainty of how teams would be grouped and everything, that we classify in Tennessee based on size, and then they're grouped in districts and regions according to geography.
Which, in the big scheme of things, the only way that you would see a more competitive Alcoa in the playoffs is if you went less classifications.
Correct.
Because they've proven and they're not going to move up. They've had years.
Well, I don't know that they couldn't compete at 6A, just to be honest with you, because they've already beat 3 6.
But more
beat 2 or 3.
But like you said, more competitive.
Yeah, more competitive.
They lost Isaiah Cox today for the season.
Oh, they did.
And you know, like a gentleman was saying, they will still be 3 touchdown favorites in every game they play in the postseason without their best player.
Yeah, he broke his collarbone or something last night, or must have had some type of injury to the chest.
Upper extremity injury.
It must have been.
It wasn't collarbone, because that's,
It was right in here, somewhere right in here. You can just see last night. Let's get this caller here. Great caller, you're on the air.
Hey, who does Elizabeth and who will they play?
Who Elizabeth and play?
I think I just.
Would that be the number 4 seed?
Is it Hickson?
Hickson, maybe.
Let me
we'll
see
tell you
here.
in just a second.
Elizabethan will play Hickson.
Hickson.
At Hickson or Elizabeth?
It's Elizabeth.
Elizabethan's the 1 seed.
1 seed. Yeah.
Okay, what are they 5A, 4A, or
4A?
4A.
They're 4A.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Thanks,
I
sir.
mean, if you look at Elizabethan's road to the 3rd round, they'll have to beat Hickson, and then they'll have to beat East Hamilton or Sullivan South. Sullivan South, who they've already beat
soundly.
Yeah, soundly, and East Hamilton, who got beat by 40+ points by Anderson County. So
I wouldn't be shocked if everybody in the region that Anderson County's in loses except for Anderson County.
I think historically that's what's happened.
That's what's happened, and that's what I think will probably happen. That's what'll happen. So.
Did you ever think you'd see a week go by this year, David, that Clinton was winning?
Did I ever think there'd be a week?
Yeah, that Clinton won a game.
This year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Start of the season.
I really did. I thought they had a chance to win at least the last 2 ball games of the year.
Did you say the quarterback's a good athlete, good player?
Really is, really nice athlete.
Yeah, he just freshman.
I didn't get to see him.
I mean, he got thrown in the fire a little earlier than he should have been there, but and Clinton played a lot of freshmen.
He's going to be hard to handle down the road. He's quick. He's athletic. Throws a really nice ball, and yeah, he's going to be.
I think they played 7 or 8 freshmen all year long. A lot of both ways, and some of them. So, it's something that they got a good, big, tall receiver. Kid that's about 6'something", 6'4", 6'5", something like that.
Has talks been brought up yet about spring football? You wonder, that like Clinton, they need to have spring football. And you just wonder if you're going to get the chance to have it. I mean, basketball's not having scrimmages.
I would think if you was betting right now, I bet there won't be no spring football. Yeah, it's just me.
Even though they went through a whole season of practice.
It might not be, well, I think schools will be wanting to try to finish.
I can see them doing a spring practice with helmets, shoulder pads, where there's not a lot of contact, where you can social distance.
Almost like they did to start the year this year.
Yeah, I can see them.
Does that actually help Clinton? I don't think it does.
I'd say being together.
Maybe being together part and stuff might, but the contact for blocking and tackling and doing things like that, I don't know if it really helps Clinton.
Yeah.
That's just me. That's what I think. But
You brought up last week, and I tried to dig one night to get you an answer on this. The head coach did not call the offensive plays last week.
I was told he did.
Against Campbell County.
Well, I was told he did.
Yeah, he did not call the offensive plays. There was a young man on the sideline calling the offensive plays and signaling them in, but the head coach was not calling the plays.
I don't know whether he did or not. I just told he did, so that's all I know.
Per the side judge on that side of the field. So,
like I said, I don't know. I just told he did. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, the final on Powell and South Doyle, 48-40. South Doyle kicked a 45-yard field goal to make it 48-40 with 20 seconds left. They went for the onside kick and got it. They tried a couple of Hail Marys, but it didn't work, so it was the final 48-40 Powell.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
You think at the start of the season,
Powell holds on.
You think at the start of the season, Powell ever thought they would be traveling in the first round of the playoffs?
No.
And if you look back over the course of the season, and we were talking about this earlier today as a group, Powell could have lost the Beach game on a push-off, and then the kid catches it. Blatant miss of pass interference. Probably one of the best high school football plays in the state this year to beat Anderson County. So, that's
that
a team.
8-2 could very easily have been 5-5.
Yeah, 5-5, 6-4.
If they hadn't hung on tonight, could very easily have been 5-5.
What's a team that come in the year with high expectations?
And they still have high.
I don't think 8-2 is the expectation.
Something to prove.
Yeah.
I know what it says. Something to prove.
Yeah, they got something to prove. All right. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, this is Matt Hagan with Clayton Football.
Hey, Matt. What's going on, buddy?
Clayton, 41-33.
Yeah, that's what we heard. Yep.
Yeah, final play.
Hello.
Third and 13. Joshua Keith fakes, throws the touchdown pass to Jeremiah Biobel, but Wesley Phillips had a touchdown catch, a pick six, and about 8 tackles on the game.
Wow.
Freshman.
Yeah, Clinton's played a lot of freshmen this year. I know that. So we appreciate the. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Josh went over 1,000 yards passing for the season.
And he didn't play the first, what? How many games didn't
I'll let you guys get back to your show now.
All right, thanks, man. He didn't play the first 2 or 3 games, something like that. If he's thrown for 1,000 yards, he's played on the back end.
And they had a couple COVID games, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a couple COVID games.
Maybe played 5 or 6 games?
He only played 5 or 6 games, yeah. So
that's getting it going.
That's getting it going pretty quickly there.
About your driving.
Go ahead, caller, you on there.
Hey, Clainer, what's going on, big dog?
Not a lot, man.
Hey, I'm telling you, I saw something tonight that made me want to I don't know how to feel about what I saw. But Clinton intercepted a pass to put a nail in the coffin on Carnes tonight, lined up to kick the extra point. And I'm telling you, that was the dirtiest cheap shot on that quarterback. He was the holder on the extra point. And I'm telling you, they took his knee out on purpose 3 seconds after the ball was kicked. It was nasty dirty, and they did not eject that kid. It's stupid.
Okay.
I'm upset about it. But I saw an excellent football game tonight. Clinton played hard. They turned the ball over twice inside the 20-yard line and overcame it. And I'm telling you, Clinton's got a lot of potential coming for the future. They got a very young team that's going to be good. I was proud of the effort. I was proud of the resiliency that I saw. And, man, I'm telling you, they overcame a lot to win that football game. They got bad penalties against them at bad times in the game, and, I mean, they overcame so much adversity. All the tangibles went to Carnes, and Clinton still won.
So you become a Clinton fan now.
Well, I mean, if I'm going to go to a game, I'm going to pick a team and cheer for them.
All right.
Hey, I'm going to tell you this. Sleepy had an experience that he'd never had before. He experienced me at a football game, and I sat beside him, and his wife. And I bet you he's petrified. He probably don't never want to sit with me at a football game again.
I don't blame him.
What do you mean you don't blame him? I ain't that bad.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him. You got to remember, I've seen you at a football game, so I don't blame you.
Well, I mean, when I go to a football game, that's me. I'm not out there acting to be something I'm not. If I'm gonna be at a football game, I'm gonna cheer hard.
I heard that, man. I don't blame you for that.
But anyway, hey, we'll talk a little college football here in a little while, so I'm gonna call you back if that's all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hey, can you update me on the Oakdale Greenback score?
What was 35-7?
35-7.
35-7.
Greenback.
No, Oakdale. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes!
No, Greenback.
You meanie. That was awful. Dude, you had me so fired up for just a second.
All right, I'll talk to you later, man.
All right, bye.
Let's see, man.
That was dirty.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Thought it was good, though. Go ahead, caller, you're there.
Hey, yeah. How y'all doing tonight?
Hey, we're doing good. How you?
All right. I was going to check on the score. Is Jody still there?
He's here.
Yeah, I was going to check on the score and see what Lake City and Rural was. Scored tonight.
Lake City and Rural, I think that game was about 42-0 Rural. Circa 1981, maybe, or 80.
Hey, yeah, I got Jody on there this week. I missed him last week. Hey, I was going to ask Jody. This is Miller.
Go ahead, John.
Hey, I was going to ask Jody, in his day, who was his greatest rival in high school as far as, 9th grade to the 12th grade?
and who's their greatest rivalry and who's his greatest rival. And I was listening.
You talking about in football, basketball, or baseball,
in
John?
Football and baseball, because Jody played all three.
You know, football. Scott High was one of our huge rivalries just because the coach up there, Jack Diggs, was an old Lake City guy, and he could get Larry Kerr wound tighter than a drum. You know, and but probably, I guess, for as far as playoff, Gibbs was one of the bigger ones in basketball. You know, we enjoyed a big rivalry, of course, with Clinton. But again, I would probably put Gibbs, Tazewell, Maynardville. Those were all big. Rutledge. Those were all big games for us. Baseball-wise, again, you know, the usual suspects. Gibbs always was really loaded, and Rutledge seemed like they always had some guys that could just that could play and tough outs. But you know, it's just. It's such a different landscape today in football. Back in those days, one team made the playoffs. And of course, you got the advantage in we were AA, so if you won, you got the advantage of playing Maryville, and Maryville was pretty good back in those days too.
Yeah, it was great times. You know, I'm younger than you, but it was awesome to read the stats and the stories that. Our sports commentators wrote about our schools, because, you know, even Neil Cridgley would write about Clinton and Lake City and Norris, and it was just a great time back then to hear everybody play every Friday night and Thursday nights and Tuesday nights, and be down to the wire on every game, because it was dog eat dog back in them days.
Well, John, we didn't have social media back then. You know, you look forward to getting that copy of the Courier, see if you made the Courier. Use big time if you can make the Courier, get your picture in the paper even in there. But that was again, it was a big deal, and they did such a great job of covering sports in Norris, Lake City, and Clinton. Oh
yeah. Great times back in them days. Yeah, I thought I'd call you this week. I missed you last week, Jody, but yeah, them times like that are never forgotten. Something we'll take to our graves in them days like that.
Sure will.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it.
See you, John.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Quick caller, you're on there.
Hey, David, I was going to ask you a question. They said that Carnes didn't have a play clock.
I've not been to Carnes in Salah.
They've got a clock. Might not have been working.
That's a rule now, isn't it, Joe? I mean,
it's not a requirement they have the play clock. They're going to use a lot of schools have it. They're going to have that 40-second clock, but it is not a requirement that you have to have that clock.
Most schools have got it, though,
yes.
Right? Yeah. Maybe they just don't. Maybe it wasn't working. Now I don't know. I've not been over to Carnes in a while, so I couldn't tell you.
Well, the announcer said we've not got a play clock here, so they're just going to keep the time on the field.
Yeah, that's what we want to do.
Okay, are you talking about a game clock?
Play clock.
Okay, play clock, you're talking about the 40-second clock, or are you talking about the game clock?
That's what he was talking about, the 40-second clock.
Okay,
40-second clock.
Okay.
All right, then.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, man. I have no idea if they got a game clock or play clock.
Well, they keep that on the field anyway.
Keep it on the field anyway. So.
Yeah, you've got a guy on the sideline that keeps that.
So
both are kept on the field now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, let's jump out and take our first break tonight. Man, first 30, 40 minutes there packed. Line after line after line. Keep on calling us 483-8112, and maybe Cox can figure the rest of the playoffs out. We'll see. We'll be right back just in a couple minutes.
1952. That's the year Hammers opened the first store in East Tennessee. Now there are 5 stores, and there's always something new. Like in Hammers' popular ladies' boutique department, you'll find the lowest price possible on new arrivals every week. Find similar deals in the men's department and the expanded rug department. Plus, special purchases always offer surprise savings. You never know what you'll find next at Hammers.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We built our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the hot water wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Renai, hot water for all.
Make this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension.
Your local Ferris dealer is S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood. Call 865-354-0600.
Welcome back to the 5-Star Prep Friday Night Scoreboard. We're rolling right along here. 483-8112, give us a call. We do have some scenarios on playoffs. If you want to know who your team's playing, you can give us a call and we'll try to look it up and see if we're you can check us later on to see if we're correct. You know, Cox might be wrong, but that's Cox.
True.
So, I've not seen anything on the scoreboard tonight really that says upset. Have you guys? You seen anything, Cox?
Clinton.
What? You call that an upset over Carnes?
For sure.
Okay.
For sure, Carnes.
Okay, we give Clinton an upset.
Carnes beat Campbell County. You know, and Clinton lost to Campbell County, so I think that
probably would have been. I don't know. It probably was a pick 'em.
Was that at Carnes?
At Carnes.
But they went on the road and won a football game.
It was certainly a good win for Clinton.
Yeah, well, only.
But I'm like you, Dave. There's not a, there's nothing out there that this was kind of just a ho-hum Friday night as far as ball games. Nothing out there that just sticks out to you that's going to be a.
Bearden, big win with Science Hill.
Well, yeah, I would say that's a win.
Yeah.
Was that at Bearden or at Science Hill?
I think it was at Science Hill, wasn't it?
I don't know. I don't know. I can find out. We'll try to get the Clinton coach on the air. Just got a text message about that, so we'll try to get the Clinton coach on the air. But yeah, either way, Science Hill wins that game. They're the 1 seed. They lose the game, they drop all the way to 4.
Hey, how was that how did they say last night Kingsport's game against Alcoa was for the region title? They kept saying that. What was the
overall record?
Oh, probably overall.
Overall record?
One of the tiebreakers was overall record.
Yeah.
I'm kind of disappointed that Coach Gaddis hadn't called in. I mean, I showed up down at the Pizza Inn the other night with my cornhole boards and my darts, and he wasn't there. I thought we could at least get a good game of bingo going. We didn't get anything.
I'm surprised he didn't show up with one of his dogs down there.
I'm telling you, I was disappointed.
Yeah, you know how he is. He's smart. He stayed in. He knew better than to come there. He's afraid he'd lose.
He's been watching film on Saudi.
He's been watching film on Saudi. So he knew better to come there. He wasn't taking a chance.
No, he wasn't taking a chance.
You know, and I said this last week. You saw a veteran football. The whole thing, I think a lot of coaches would have wanted to be, I'm sure that would have caved into pressure of, let's play a game, let's get another game scheduled by all the outside noise. And I'm sure he probably took some heat on that. But now that was, again, I thought a move by a veteran football coach that knows what's going on, been here before, and said, we're going to take a week to kind of get healed up, to an extra week of preparation. Time will tell, but, on the front end, I would say that was a pretty smart move by Joe Gaddis.
Well, you win a region game. Right, you secure this 2 seed.
Yep.
Why should you go play a football game?
Yeah.
Well, I personally don't know who he would have played tonight, just to be honest.
Well, he probably would have had to travel.
Yeah, there were some teams out there looking for games, but he has nothing to gain by playing a game tonight.
No.
Well, he's everything to lose with getting somebody hurt.
Yeah,
so
I talked to a couple of coaches this week from 5A, and I myself was surprised at that score, that Oak Ridge the Oak Ridge Powell score, but they were not. They thought Oak Ridge was the better football team. Up front on offense and defense, they thought they were better than Powell.
I listened to him on his show Wednesday night, and I think he felt like they might have got whipped up front a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, just a little bit. They were out. Powell was a little bit bigger than them.
The same coaches also said that Fulton might have the best offense and defensive line combo in the region.
Got a lot of good guys. Got two brothers. There's triplets. The
Vaughns.
The Vaughns. The sister may be the best athlete of the bunch. She plays golf and volleyball. She filled in and played soccer this year. She wrestles.
Wow.
And she plays softball in the spring. So she may be a better athlete than they are. But now those guys are
good
both boys are wrestlers, and
they're good.
They are.
Defensive line.
Seth he's a heavyweight wrestler, and he's hard to handle.
Yeah, he has strong hands. He can tackle you with just one arm.
And
no problem.
Cam Stokes, another really solid lineman they've got. So just not the depth. We did not have the depth to be playing 5A football this year that we have had in the past.
Who was it? Was it last year that Greenville had somebody that was supposed to come play in a playoff game? Not Greenville, Greenback, and they didn't show up. Who was it? Was it Unaka?
Unaka.
Was it Unaka?
For a couple of years now.
It was, and that was due to, yes, they appealed to the board because if you pull out of the playoffs or pull out of the playoff the run there, you're penalized for basketball. So that was carrying postseason ban in basketball.
Yeah.
And they came to the Board of Control and appealed that they would like to play basketball, but it was just kids were quitting left and right. They didn't have enough players.
Guess who goes to Unaka Friday night? Greenback.
Greenback goes to Unaka?
Wow.
Wow.
Yes. Greenback goes. That's what they said earlier.
I mean,
anyway, so
the principal made it sound like their football program was at death's door.
Somebody said they only had like 11 or 12 kids at the end of the year that year.
They had
a bunch of people hurt or something.
I think
and they had to quit. They didn't have enough kids.
14 or 15, and those
something like that. Yeah.
And those had said they didn't want to play.
Huh? Coach Keith Lime won. Okay.
It's your boy.
Coach David Queener, how we done tonight?
Oh man, I'm excited.
Coach, you come really close last week, and I know you don't put victories on really close, but tonight you seal the deal and get Clinton's first win of the year. And we've already heard a few stats from a caller or two that's called in tonight, but what about your ball club tonight, Coach?
Tonight we learned how to win at all costs. We did the intangible. Defense came up with a touchdown. We were a little innovative on offense. We played as a complete team. We played all facets of the game, and that's what's going to take to build a program here. One brick at a time. I know you guys don't like Tennessee. You don't like one brick at a time, but that's how you build a house, one brick at a time.
That's correct, Coach. Hey, Coach, I know you picked a game up next week. You've got Heritage next week. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
All right. You'll tell us about who stood out tonight.
I thought the running game was good. I mean, we ran by committee. I thought the little quarterback made some good plays. Receivers caught the ball extremely well. The offensive line did a great job. I mean, we had a couple of hiccups in here and there. Playing a freshman quarterback, it gets jitters. We fumbled balls. It should have never been that tight. But, we're playing a lot of freshmen, made a lot of mistakes. I thought Wesley Phillips played lights out. He had a pick six. He had a touchdown. He had 2 big catches. He made some great defensive stops. I thought that freshman did a good job. He's about 6'5", 205, 14-year-old freshman. So, if I had to pick one person, it'd be Wesley Phillips.
All right, Coach. Well, I waited all year to be able to get you on the show here this year, so I'm glad we got it on a winning note, and good luck next Friday night.
Hey, man, thank you guys, and bless you, man. I appreciate what you guys do.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Coach Keith, pretty humble guy. You know, he didn't even call his son out. He just said the quarterback had a good game. So he's a pretty humble guy. He's a really good guy, too. So
they got a chance to win another game next week,
that's
too.
the receiver I was talking about, 6'5". He's just a freshman.
Is that the kid that played middle school basketball last year?
Probably.
Big old kid.
I think so, Jonathan. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so.
Big old boy.
They had a big boy. I don't know what number he was, but yeah, I can remember they had a pretty good size receiver when we played them.
Yeah, so congratulations, Clinton. I pick up the first win. As a matter of fact, I don't know if Clinton won any games last year at the end of the year or not. I don't know if this losing streak dates back to last year or not.
They beat.
Did they beat somebody last year?
They
at the
beat
end?
Carnes.
They beat Carnes.
And didn't they beat Campbell County last year?
I do think they beat Campbell County.
I think they won the last two.
I didn't know if they beat Carnes. I thought they beat Campbell County.
They did. I think it was the last game of the season. So I think they won the last two.
Well, congratulations to them winning their first game tonight.
Yeah.
So, Jody, the team that's in that's 0 and whatever, I think they're 0 and 10, just to be honest. Maybe they're not. Does that sound, I mean, this might be putting you in a bad position, but does that sound fair? I mean, not win a game and go to the playoffs? I mean, I'm not knocking it, but wow.
It's one of the things that, again, has come out of when you add more classifications, you get smaller districts and regions. And, again, as I was talking with John earlier, back in the day, when it was the winner of your district went to the playoffs.
Yes.
One. And then in the late 80s, they added 2. And then they added 4, and then they went to from 3 to 5. And again, if you were in a 4 or 5 team region, then conceivably you could win 1 or 2 ball games, and as long as those were the right 2, you would be in the playoff. And again, with small regions, it is conceivable, and that happens every year. And I think I said it last week on the show. I'm not a huge fan of 6 classifications. I think that's probably one too many.
Yeah.
But even if you had 5, David, I don't think you would have a winless team in the playoffs. But when there were 5 classifications, we would have 1 and 2 win teams in the playoffs. So I don't think you're going to, as long as you're taking 4 teams,
it's going to happen.
It could happen. It's going to happen. It's again, I said this at a board control meeting when I first got on the board, and I think I got some stink eye looks. But you know, used to going to the playoffs was an honor. It was a big deal, and now it's more of a walk of shame if you don't make the playoffs, because so many teams do make the playoffs. More teams make the playoffs than don't make the playoffs around here in these districts and regions. If I'm in a 6-team region, 4 making the playoffs. So it has lost its luster as far as what a big deal it was to make the playoffs.
In 5A, just in 5A around here, who do you guys think will be somebody from around here that'll still be playing week 4, possibly?
That'd be the semifinals.
Semifinals.
I think there's 3 or 4 teams. West is definitely a possibility. Oak Ridge. Powell. Again, Powell's a team nobody wants to play. They can sling it all over the lot, and they've got receivers that are as deep as anyone. They haven't shown to have a proven running game. Again, you know, everybody, we talk about all these teams, but until somebody beats them, Central's your 2-time defending state champion. Yeah. And they're playing well at the right time. South Dole is a team that's just kind of hard to put a finger on. Sure. They're talented. You don't know which South Dole is going to show up. Historically, they haven't shown up as much in the bigger games. But I think, again, Central by far has got the easiest road. Central and South Dole have got the easiest road to get there, because their side of the bracket is not near as tough as what Oak Ridge, West, and Powell go through. So I think it's, you know, very easy to say that Central or South Dole will be there. Now, who will they meet? there? Will it be a Oak Ridge? Will it be a West? Will it be a Powell?
Oak Ridge has got a pretty good road to the quarterfinals.
They do.
I mean, with that win over Powell, that was a big win.
Well, they don't have. They only have to beat Oak Ridge. They only have to beat West or Powell, not both of them.
That's right.
Are we looking at Maryville, Oakland, round 4 possibly?
I'm not sure what's in Middle Tennessee this year. I don't know if Oakland's going to be the 1 seed on that side or not. I don't have that.
I'd say the number 1A team in 6A this year. Hadn't it been Oakland?
Has Oakland been ranked 1 all year?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, I feel pretty comfortable about saying on this side of the bracket, you're going to see Maryville.
Oh, yeah, I'm not betting against
I mean, you don't even – I mean, the only team on there, it might be a McMinn County, which they went down there and beat, what, 21 to
20-2.
Already went down there and took care of them, I mean.
And, again, that could be a game where you see somebody for the second time. But, you know, I thought that, you know, and I coached against Derek and watched him when he was a player, and I thought, what a tough job he's going to have to fill George Corl's shoes. I mean, just the legacy that George, the persona that George was, just such a humble guy. But at the same time, you look at what Derek's done, and you know there hasn't been a drop. And Derek is a lot like George. He is he's a very humble. He is just a very solid individual. But that's one of the cases where they say you don't want to follow the man. You want to be the second guy in line. Yeah. But now he stepped right into those shoes and acted like he was beat. And not missed a beat. Act like he was made for that position all along.
I agree. I don't know, man. They just keep coming out of the woodwork over. Quick caller, you're on the air.
Hey, good morning. Hey, I'm sorry, guys. I apologize for earlier. I was a little emotional when I called because, I mean, when you see a little kid get hurt on purpose, it makes you mad when you got kids. I'm sorry about my strong feelings because I don't want to be getting in trouble again like I already did once. And I was bashing. I wasn't trying to bash nobody's kids. I just want to clarify on that.
Which quarterback was it for Clinton? I just had the Clinton coach on. He didn't say anything about it. So
the Clinton quarterback, number 3.
Okay, he got hurt.
Was the holder on the extra point after the interception. And I'm telling you, Coach Chris would have called it a spear. You know what I'm talking about? When you just jump up in the air and dive head first to somebody. A spear. After the ball was kicked, when he was getting up off the ground, the Carnes kid speared him in the leg and hyperextended his knee.
Okay.
It bent back. It bent the wrong way.
Did he return to the game?
He came off the field and cried, and the athletic trainers dealt with him for 10 minutes.
Did he go back in the game?
There wasn't no go back in the game after that.
Oh, okay.
They kicked off, and Carnes didn't score. The clock ran out.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, I mean, that was it. But I'm telling you, like, it was awful. It was, and they did not eject the kid. Like it was just a personal foul. That's ridiculous. Anyway, moving forward. Is it late enough to start talking about college football yet?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm telling you right now, I'm calling it. Kentucky's going to beat Georgia tomorrow.
Is that in Lexington?
Kentucky is, and you guys ain't real loud, by the way.
Sorry.
I just let you know. I mean, I can hear you, but I can barely hear you.
You just get fired up and start kicking people out of the game?
Do what?
I said, you want us to get fired up in here and start kicking people out of games?
Oh no, I did get kicked out of one game.
Yeah,
But I don't get fired up and get kicked out of the game that bad. I mean, I did get kicked out of the Watford Cofield, Auburn Springs game 1 year.
Is that Georgia?
It was bad.
Is that Georgia game?
Do you what?
Is that Georgia-Kentucky game? Is that in Lexington?
Dude, I really can't hear you. Like, barely can hear anything you're saying.
Where's the game at tomorrow? Can you hear me?
Barely.
Barely. Okay, I don't know what the deal is. So might be.
Now I can hear you. Now I can hear you good. What just happened? Something happened.
He turned up a little bit back to back for you.
Where's
the Kentucky-Georgia game at tomorrow?
I haven't looked, and I don't care.
Okay.
I believe I saw Kentucky play Auburn. I've seen Kentucky play Tennessee. I've seen Georgia play Arkansas, and I've seen Georgia play Tennessee.
Yeah.
And Kentucky's a better football team. If they line up man to man, strong man on strong man, and say, I'm better than you, and they got the will to play that football, that type of football, they can beat them 4 yards at a time.
Now, you talking about the Kentucky that showed up against Tennessee or the Kentucky that showed up against Missouri?
I ain't talking about that Kentucky that showed up against Missouri. I didn't see that game. I saw Kentucky play Tennessee, and I saw Kentucky play Auburn.
Well, the team that played Missouri didn't play too well.
Well, I mean, you have off weeks, but hey, I can tell you this. I just believe. I don't think Georgia's all they're cracked up to be.
Georgia by 17 tomorrow.
Did you hear that?
I heard that. Georgia by 17 tomorrow.
Georgia by 17 tomorrow.
And that may be generous.
Yeah.
And then I think Oklahoma State is gonna beat the brakes off Texas.
Beat the brakes.
I mean, when you say plus 17, and I'm with you on that one. And I mean, I just can't never cheer. You know, tomorrow is like the most controversial feeling game of the year for me every year. Like, I really dislike Ohio State, like really bad. Like they are my least favorite football team. But they're playing the team I hate, and that's Penn State, because they shouldn't be playing football. So I have to cheer for Ohio State tomorrow, and that's hard on me.
Why should Penn State not be playing football?
I can't talk about it on the air. It's bad. Do you remember? They should have they should have poured gas on Penn State's campus and burned it to the ground. Instead of removing a statue. Like, they should have just burned that thing to the ground and that Penn State didn't exist no more. That's how strongly I feel about it.
All right.
But anyway, so what we got? First round, is Hancock County going to, are they going to COVID out of Cofield, or are they actually going to play that game? What do you think?
Is it Cofield or Greenback they've got?
Hancock's got
Hancock's
Cofield.
got Cofield.
Cofield, okay.
Hancock's got Cofield in the first round.
Unaka's got Greenback. Greenback's got to go to Unaka.
Unaka lost tonight, too. Sunbright beat them.
Sunbright beat Unaka tonight, they said. So,
yeah, Cofield's your district champ. They're at home through the third round, and whoever makes it through the third round in that bracket gets rewarded with a trip to South Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Brutal.
And that's not much of a reward. That's like a punishment.
I got that.
I mean, Cofield's never beat South Pittsburgh, and if I was ever going to get kicked out of a football game again in my life, that would be the one that I would be ejected from. I'm telling you, if Cofield beats South Pittsburgh, I'll be there. I'm going to be on the sidelines going absolutely bonkers, raising Cain as loud as I possibly can, on the line of scrimmage, following the down marker the whole game, up and down the field. And I'm telling you, if I'm ever going to get kicked out of another football game, that'll be the one.
I understand. Just be careful, okay?
What do you mean be careful? I ain't doing nothing wrong. I never cuss. And I learned my lesson. You know why I got kicked out? There is a reason I got kicked out of that game. Because I called a kid's number.
Okay.
I mean, you can't call a kid individually out. And that's what I found out that night. So I don't do that no more.
All right. We got you, man.
Quick learner.
All right, bye.
All right, see you, man.
Quick learner.
Quick learner, isn't he? You've never seen him at a game? I have. I've done a TV.
Is it worth the price of admission?
It's worth the price of admission. And he does exactly what he says. He goes up and down the sideline. That's the truth. That's really
Clinton needs to adopt him. He showed up, become a fan, they win.
He probably wouldn't make it.
Wouldn't make it?
The Clinton fans might throw him out.
Oh.
So, but anyway, so I don't know if he'd make it or not. You know, he was an Oliver Springs fan for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he just lived right across the street from Oliver Springs High School.
Wore
He didn't have no choice.
Oliver Springs hoodie with a Cofield T-shirt.
He probably did, just to be honest with you. He's a Cofield guy originally, but he lived right there in Oliver Springs for a long time, and he's at every Oliver Springs football game. So he got tossed down at Wahlberg before he got tossed. So that's what the deal is. Hey, let's jump out and take another break. We'll be right back just in a couple minutes.
So Grace beat Boyd.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the diamond.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends. Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
Make this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension.
Your local Ferris dealer is SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood. Call 865-354-0600.
Here is Helen Hammer.
Thank you, Mr. Walker.
A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low prices.
Race on down!
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the hot water wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Renai, hot water for all.
Welcome back to the Friday night scoreboard, the 5-star Prep Friday Night Scoreboard. Give us a call, 483-8112. We're glad to talk to you. We're getting ready for the playoffs around here, and what do you think, guys?
I would say that just looking at it, I think the 5A playoffs this year is probably the most exciting. The hardest to predict. I think that the 5A would be the hardest.
There's so many scenarios and teams that has a chance to win that thing.
You got 5 teams that could represent the area.
I think that what makes 5A so intriguing is just the fact that, again, that there's so many good teams. I think in 6A it's Maryville. Until somebody beats Maryville, it's Maryville. Again, a lot of number of teams in 5A. In 4A, you've got 3 teams probably on this side of the state that could probably win it, and that's, again, Anderson County, Greenville, and Elizabethton. In 3A, again, it's like 6A. It's Alcoa until somebody proves them wrong. Again, you get into the 2A and 1A, I think there'll be a lot of excitement in those areas because I think those are wide open, more so than certainly 3A and 6A are. I would be shocked if Alcoa and Maryville aren't playing in Cookeville.
You know, I think you got 5 teams that could represent the area in 5A. You got South Doyle Central. One of those 2 teams can go. And then you've got Powell, Oak Ridge, and West. West probably having the upper hand right now of everybody.
And, you know, we haven't mentioned them, but now one school that could definitely throw a wrench in the plans is Ray County. Veteran football coach, Mark Pemberton, won a state championship at Alcoa. They run that his version of the wing tee, and it's he calls it maybe the wing bone, but now they go foot to foot, buddy. They line up foot to foot, and they just run it at you all night long.
How bad of a draw do you think that is for Powell, just looking at how people's beat them?
Again, yeah.
That's not, I mean, they keep the ball from you.
I think the thing again, is can Ray County, do they have the athleticism? Because Powell can score so quick. You know, I've really been impressed with the little quarterback, with the Potts kid. He's not real big, but, man, he slings it all over the lot, and he has got some I don't know if a school in any classification has got better receivers than what Powell has.
The thing about Ray County, if you can get out on them, the way their offense is, they have a hard time. If you got a chance to put your foot on the gas and jump out on them about 14 or 21 points, you do that. I don't know that it's not game over for them.
Their offense isn't built
it's not built for speed.
To come from behind,
to pound you and run the clock.
But likewise, if they get ahead of you, and they can have those long ball controlling drives and keep the ball away from you. I think what has hurt Ray County is when they have come up here, when they've been faced with an athletic team, is just, you know, that they can't contain them.
I think it's their offense. It's just been, I've said that numerous times. I just don't think that offense works in big boy football. Might work down in the lower classifications. I don't think it works in 5A or 6A.
Does Oakland run a version of that?
Well, Oakland did. You know, they won, and that was the knock, you know, on Oakland. And I think they beat Whitehaven one year running that wing tee. They also lost one running it, and so you're right. That style has won, but certainly not won on a consistent basis.
On a consistent basis, I think the gunslinging offense, you know, where you
if you got the people to do it.
If you got the people, you got to have the people to do it. You need a good quarter. I don't know if you even have to have a good quarterback. You need a consistent quarterback. If you do a lot of things like Anderson County does, guys, Anderson County don't throw a lot of long passes throughout the whole game. They sideline to sideline you to death, and then they get you deep in the third quarter or late in the second quarter. That's how they run you sideline to sideline and run you to death.
Yeah, speaking of, I heard today actually that the Farver kid that was the quarterback for Central last year, he threw 9 passes longer than 10 yards, and they won a state championship. And he threw it a lot, didn't he?
Well, you go back to
it's a dink and dunk. It's a dink and dunk game.
What year was it? His sophomore year, freshman year, and he threw how many? He threw 20 bombs. Didn't complete any of them.
Didn't complete any of them.
So you got to look at those. You look at those passing games, and then you have a fairly decent running game, and you know I think that's what kids want to play for today. That's just me.
Yeah, you know, and I think the big thing is too right now. Again, for Powell, they're giving up 40 points again tonight, but I think Potts has thrown 10 interceptions in his last 3 games.
But isn't Powell's best game, though, their passing game?
For sure.
For sure. I mean, because they got the receivers.
But he's been having to throw it so much.
They got the receivers to do it. I mean, they got the horses to go do that.
I think the game they had, according to what, you know, the callers told us, what I saw stat-wise, probably the second half of Oak Ridge was the best running game they've had all year long. And according to what Coach Gaddis told us, they just kind of ran it down their throat.
Yeah.
They haven't done that all year long, and that's kind of what people have just kind of pinned their ears back, you know, and they've set on some routes, and as Jonathan said, I think they've had some interceptions. But it's hard when you get deep in the playoffs and things become all things become equal. If you can't be balanced, if you're, again, I'm going to sling it all over the lot kind of guy, and you can't run it to keep people honest, it's hard. And likewise, what you said, if all you're going to do is just run it and you have a very weak passing game, it's hard to win big boy football that way.
What year was it Fulton went to Giles and they had to run the football? And I mean, you know, they couldn't get it going that night in the air. Was that 13 or 12?
That was Giles had Bo Wallace, I think it was, big quarterback, maybe that played at Ole Miss. I think that was 2012.
sometime there. And they went in there and they just couldn't get it going that night offensively, but they had to run it behind Rollins, and I mean, basically he carried them to the state championship game that night.
I think you got to have a little of both.
You got to be able to do both.
You can't be one way or the other.
But I think Powell has that running back that's eligible that transferred from Alcoa now.
Okay.
Which helps out. Yeah. I think he's eligible.
Maybe that's why their running games come around.
It was a benefit.
Because a kid that was there got hurt last year, right?
He's back.
He's back, though, but he got
put a little weight on.
Put a little weight on.
Yeah, still not fully recovered.
Still not fully recovered.
That was a major surgery.
Yeah. Let's get another caller. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Mr. Queener.
Yes.
Jasper Young, WYSH.
What's going on, Jasper?
Hey, I just wanted to call in, congratulate Coach Keith and the kids of the Clinton Dragons on their win tonight. I tell you, those kids got a lot of fight to them, and I think that the whole community is proud of them tonight.
Yeah, we talked to Coach Keith a few minutes ago, and he was happy about the game tonight.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a different setting than what it was last Friday night. You know, I went up there to the Clinton Campbell County game. It was such a heartbreaker. Coach Keith was just you felt for him. I gave him a big old hug, and I told him, I said, hey, you got one more in you. You're going to get this. And like I said, I'm just glad for him and the entire team and the community.
I understand, but it's nice to always win. Winning's nice. So.
Yes, sir.
Sure is.
All right, you guys have a great night.
See you, Jeff.
Go Dragons.
All right, see you. Win state next year. That's what's coming. Jasper's a big Tennessee fan, too. He always thinks Tennessee's going to win, too, next year. So, notice I reference that as next year. So.
I would say that both of those are pretty tough.
Yeah, they are.
Tough feats.
I agree with you. What did you think about the Tennessee game last week?
Didn't watch you play.
I didn't watch much of it myself because
I was at a baseball field.
It's not pretty. You know, Pruitt says they're closing the gap. I personally don't see that. He might know more than I know about it, but I don't see it.
Did you see that stat where they gave Dooley's first 3 years wins against the SEC, and they have Pruitt and they had Butch. What was it, 12, 12, and 6?
Yeah.
And, you know, my thought was when I first read that was that just shows who left the program in the worst shape.
Yeah.
Butch Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, he left, you know, if you look at that way, you know, they were sort of trying to knock Pruitt on only having 6 wins versus their 12. But I think it's really more of a knock on Butch than it is Pruitt.
Probably is.
You know,
I just don't think they're playing. I mean, there's something wrong. I don't know what it is. There's something wrong.
Well, I think a lot of it goes back to, you talk about, this is, I think we talked about this last week. This is the worst possible year ever to have a young team. On any level, high school, college, and when you have had players miss as much work as they have missed due to, I think, you know, I saw where somebody, he said there was some players missed 25 practices.
Yeah.
You know, and you've got building a program, that's just, if you're in Alabama, this COVID is not as big a deal. But if you're building a program, losing that time is crucial.
Let's get Coach Green here. Coach, congratulations on a big win tonight.
Hey, thanks, Queener.
Hey,
it wasn't easy.
I understand. I watched the last part of it here, and I can see that it wasn't easy. Hey, Coach, you got to really be proud of your football team. You start off 0-4, I think, and you come back and do what you done and even it up at 5-5. You got to be proud of that football team.
Yeah, I'm proud of the way, when you start out 0-4, they could have packed it in and kind of gave up. They come back every week and worked hard to get ready for whoever we were playing, and we lost a tough one last week at Coalfield. We didn't want to have a Coalfield hangover for this one, but we
could have played better than that. I mean, our defense played outstanding, holding a high-powered Midway offense to 7 points. And, you know, offensively, we've done just enough to win the football game. We're still going into the playoffs. We've got to eliminate some of these offensive mistakes. They come at the most inopportune times, it seems like.
I heard that, Coach. Anybody stand out big time tonight?
Brandon Nation had a really good ball game. You know, we scored both touchdowns. I've not seen the stats from tonight, and he was all over on the field on defense, and made a couple of about 3 really good licks too. So he played a really physical ball game tonight, and him along with the rest of the defense, and then we also had to move the guy down, Cameron Stockton, number 22. He played outside linebacker in a backup role most of the season, but we moved him down to a defensive end position tonight just to try to get more pressure on their quarterback. I mean, Midway's got a good offensive football team. I'm really surprised we were able to hold them to 7 points. You know, some of the numbers they put up, but Cam done a good job to only practice that spot for a week.
Coach, next week I think you got Jellicoe first round. Is that correct?
I believe that's correct, unless we've missed something.
Okay, yeah, that's what we're saying here. You got Jellicoe, and then I think if you win that game, it'll be between Cloudland and
Midway.
Cloudland and Midway.
Yeah, yeah.
So
if we can get by, you know, get a win against Jellicoe, I'm assuming that if Midway goes up there and wins, we'll have Midway back at Oliver Springs in 2 weeks. And if Cloudland wins, we'll have to go to Cloudland.
That's a
fun trip. You want to ride the bus with us, Queener? We get to go.
No, I think I'll stay here. Okay? I've tried to get on the bus the last couple of years with Coach Gaddis. He won't take me, but you won't take me to Cloudland, though. I'm afraid you won't bring me back. Hey, listen, I just want to tell you congratulations to your football team this year. I know it's been tough, but congratulations, and get a victory next week. We'll talk to you next Friday night, okay?
All right. Hey, thank you guys for having me on.
All right, see you, bud.
All right, bye.
Nobody. I thought there was somebody on there. He's a good guy. Coach Green is down at Oliver Springs. Start out 4-4, went up 5-5. Not bad.
That win over Greenback got them going.
Yeah, it did. And, you know, he didn't want to talk to us about that bulletin board material that night, but it's a rivalry now. With you know, that coach down at Greenback said to Oliver Springs beats us. It's not a rivalry. Well, he got his wish. It's a rivalry now, and I'm sure they can meet. When could they meet? The 3rd round, maybe?
Yeah, Greenback had to beat Cofield.
Oh, that ain't happening. Well, I don't know. I ain't gonna say that, but
you'll lose your job.
Well, I ain't worried about losing my job. Greenback is a hard out for Cofield. I don't care where it's played at.
It'll be at Cofield.
Well, it's still a hard out for them. I've seen Cofield go to Greenback. I've been there when they've won at Greenback. That's a tough ball game.
Yeah.
It's all the marbles. You know, like we talk about with Loudon and Anderson County, sometimes that region right there, when you get in the playoffs and stuff, it goes through Greenback whether you want it to or not, or Cofield, and usually it is Cofield and Greenback that's involved in it, but that's where that game, sometimes that's who you got to go through. Yeah. So you got to win that football game, just like we've talked about. Can Anderson County go through Greenville and Elizabethton this year to get to where they want to get?
You think Anderson County can beat Greenville this year?
I don't know nothing about Greenville, so for me to sit here and say that they won't be able to, I don't think that'd be fair to AC for me to say that. So it sounds to me like the team they need to worry about is probably Elizabethton.
They got to beat Greenville first.
I know they do. I know they got to beat them first, but that sounds to me like that's the team that's the defending state champs. It's got just about everybody back from what they say. And once again, I don't know nothing about Elizabethton. But I have seen Anderson County beat Elizabethton. I've been there and seen that done.
I didn't realize that quarterback was just a junior.
Well, I watched Elizabethton play, and I stood on the sidelines for that 4A state championship game, and they were okay. I just wasn't blown away by how good Elizabethton was. And I'm not knocking their state championship, but when you get down to Cookeville and you watch a couple teams play, there's sometimes teams that just stand out at you. Again, when you watch Alcoa and you look at Alcoa, especially up front, watched a Ravenwood team down there that just seemed like they had speed all over the place. And I watched that Elizabethan game, and I stood on the sidelines for the first half. But I thought they were good, but now they just didn't have that wow factor. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
And they were young.
They
were young last year.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how young they were.
That's just the road that AC's got to go on, just like for Kingston and Loudon. They can have whatever kind of season they want to have. GP, for instance. They can have, it don't matter. Till somebody beats, Jody said it earlier, till somebody beats Alcoa, Alcoa's the team. Just like, Cofield and South Pitt. That's another tough out for Cofield, too, is South Pitt, because that's small Class A football right there in its finest, right there with South Pitt.
So what you're saying is the Elizabethan team was just not as good on the eye test as the Greenville teams in the last 2 years.
Right. When you see that team, and I'm kind of like Jonathan on this. I think I think if Anderson County were to beat Greenville, I think Elizabethan is an easier opponent for them, because I think Greenville presents so much of a roadblock from a mental standpoint, because they have felt like they were very capable, and the last couple of years they've just got smacked in the mouth, and so I think they don't.
So you guys think the bigger game is Greenville?
Well,
I mean they're both big games.
Yeah.
The big game, first big game is Greenville.
I just don't think Elizabethan presents Anderson County with as much of the
physicality,
mental issues that Greenville has. Greenville, you can say, certain opponents that they live in somebody else's head. I mean, they've proved they were more physical and they were better the last couple of years. So I think for Anderson County to beat that, when they played Elizabethan, they have handled Elizabethan pretty good. When Anderson County, so I just think, to me, if they were to get to that Elizabethan game, while Elizabethan is better, I think I think Greenville presents a bigger opponent for Anderson County, and I don't think this is the Greenville of past years. I think they've got a good, solid team. I think they've had COVID issues. They had a coaching change. Are they getting good at the right time? I don't know. I haven't seen. We used to scrimmage Greenville every year up at Carson Newman, so I had a pretty good gauge on Greenville. Going in the season, kind of knew how good they were going to be, and so haven't seen them play on TV, so I don't know how good. But I certainly think that Greenville's going to be would be a bigger hurdle for Anderson County.
You said the first 3 rounds are at AC?
Yes, and then they would travel for the semifinals. Yeah, whoever wins that Elizabeth and Greenville AC, they will travel this year for the semifinals.
Would that be possibly down to Pearl-Cohn?
Pearl-Cohn's 3A.
They moved up.
They moved up this year. We got a 4A.
This year, yeah.
That was
we've made that trip a time or two.
Yes, and that was probably another good Alcoa story.
Yeah.
If you're Pearl-Cohn.
Yeah.
You move up 4A.
Just get away from them.
Absolutely.
How many? Just to say, if Alcoa had moved up, how many teams right now would be disappointed that they were in 4A? I mean, just to be honest.
For all that, it would be, balance out the number of 3A teams that were happy to get rid of Alcoa. You would have the same number of 4A teams that would be probably a little bit upset to see a dominant program. I thought it would have been good for high school football if it happened. I think just number one, I think again, Alcoa is one of those, they can win at 3A. The common man says, but can they win at the next level? I think they can. Maryville heard the same thing when they were 5A.
Yeah.
And then they moved up to 6A and they never missed a beat. I think the same thing would happen to Alcoa. I think all in all, it would have been really good for Alcoa's football program because it would have given more validity if their program needs more validity. But it would have given them more validity to do that on another level.
Yeah, and I think it's according to who you are. I think there's certain programs that have a lot bigger issue with Alcoa moving to 4A than others.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you've already got state championships in your trophy case, Alcoa coming helps you build your gate and makes it more competitive.
If you're still trying to find one of those and search for one of those, you're like, oh man, we got to go through Alcoa.
Right.
So I think it's according to who you are.
Correct. I understand. Let's get this call here. Quick, caller, you're on the air.
Hey, Cleaner.
Yes.
Hey, before I call it tonight, because I just got told I got a hot bubble bath upstairs and she's going to rub my feet.
Okay.
I mean,
that's more than we needed to know, okay?
Well, I'm just telling you.
I'm just being honest. That's more than we need to know.
I got an email back from the NCAA on that thing I talked to you about earlier in the week.
Okay.
All right.
See.
And I'm going to explain it.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's hear about
I thought Scott's going to fix it and hang up on you. Go ahead.
I'm glad you didn't. All right. The Michigan-Minnesota game on Saturday, Michigan had the ball second and 11 on the Minnesota 36-yard line. They ran a 9-yard play. It was a run play. The block that sprung the run was called holding, and it was a direct hold. Like, he tackled him, okay? And they threw the flag at the lineman's feet. Like, the flag was thrown at the line of scrimmage. And then they penalized Michigan from the end of the run. And I emailed the NCAA, and I said, this is incorrect. You need to go back to 6 minutes and 37 seconds left in the second quarter and review this play and tell me if this is a correct call. And I got an email back from the NCAA that said, incorrect call, did not affect outcome.
Okay.
Because that's not correct. Like, that penalty should have been from the hold, not the end of the run. So Michigan got penalized 2 yards for holding on that play. Because the next play was second and 13. If you're going to include second down in that penalty, it should be third down and 13. And they agreed with me, and it eased my mind because I'm a stickler for the rules. Like, when it comes to football rules, I know them. My papa instilled that in me. Like, I learned the rules of football.
Right.
So I just wanted to let you know that I did get peace of mind on that because it drove me crazy for 3 days.
I'm glad you got peace of mind, buddy.
Well, you heard, I called you and told you all about it.
Yeah, you told me about it.
But, I did get an email back from the NCAA. But it's incorrect. The play shouldn't have continued. As much a review as we've got in college football right now and as many cameras as we have on the field, there's no way that should happen. It's unbelievable to me. It just blows my mind.
What?
All right, there you go.
Hey, since you know the rules so well, what's 3 ways you can pick up an automatic first down when you're penalized in high school football?
You can get a first down.
Yeah, automatic first down. Only 3 penalties on automatic first down.
Well, one of them would be pass interference on the offense. On the offense, if you're on defense. If you get an offensive pass interference call, it's an automatic first down.
There's not in high school.
No.
Is it?
Are you serious right now?
Yeah.
No.
I don't think it is.
The only automatic first downs in high school are roughing the punter, roughing the kicker, and roughing the holder.
Offensive pass interference is.
It's a
well, if you're deep, okay, I get what you're saying. I'm just.
You know what I do? There you go. Hang up. Say that.
Bubble bath.
Bubble bath. Yeah, I would just go ahead and hang up because
we learned that this year.
You got him confused right off the bat. He was really confused there. So
I'll tell you what, the NCAA's not as busy as I thought they were.
If they can answer him, because he's ranted and raved to me about it. Believe me, fuck this last night. He called me about it.
He said, but didn't affect the outcome of the game. End of emails.
End of email didn't affect
Nothing
the outcome
else.
of the game. So yeah, that's a real good. I don't.
He's got a lot of time on his hands.
He's got too much time on his hands.
If he's emailing NCAA about that play.
Yeah. He calls me Saturday morning about 8 o'clock. Hey, you want to go to the game? No, I do not want to go to the game. I'm sitting in my recliner. I can turn it off and leave when I get ready to. I'm not going over there and sitting at the game. And
you don't have to worry about it.
I don't have to worry about it. So I'm not going to that game. I could care less about that game. So, Any upsets tomorrow in the SEC? You think you both, I think Georgia's not going to get beat by Kentucky, right?
I just think Georgia defensively is stout. And again, I think, you know my philosophy well enough, David. I think if you can play defense, you're always in every ball game.
They'll make that kid throw the football.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, their defense is so good. They're going to.
Did I understand you right early? Did I hear you right? Are you believing what Pruitt said, that just because of COVID stuff, not getting young kids time to practice is hindering Tennessee a little bit?
I can see where it would. I can see, again, just I thought.
A lot of people are not buying that.
When you get a freshman come in to your program,
no spring practice,
and again they're having no work at all, and you're trying to teach them, again they're having to learn terminology and all that stuff right there, and they're having to learn the speed of the game. Jonathan sees it, and I see it. Any coach that deals with a kid coming from middle school to high school. I mean, if you're not able to have that, I've got some pretty good freshmen right now, but I'm concerned because no summer camps, no scrimmages, no fall scrimmages. That's a different. And then again, if you've got a player that has missed, an exorbitant amount of time due to whether they had COVID, and now here's the other thing, David, too, that I will say, if you've got an athlete and he has been tested positive for COVID. Okay, we saw today where Trevor Lawrence from Clemson has it. So he's going to be quarantined 10 days. Now, after he comes back, it's not like he just comes back and plays automatically. There's a period, right now it's 3 to 7 days, depending on the tests that they run. Do the tests show lung inflammation? I mean, what's your oxygen capacity? So they're doing testing on these athletes. We're doing that at the high school level. So there's testing on these athletes. I mean, and it's a gradual return to play. So it's not like, well, they're just out 10 days. It could be they're out till they can show that they have the lung capacity and all those things right there. It could be anywhere between 13 and 17 days before they return.
I understood it in the Big Ten, isn't it 21 days in the Big Ten?
Yep. The quarterback for Wisconsin's out 21 days.
21 days. So, and then he has to go through the protocol just like you just said.
They didn't want him to play football.
And they didn't want him to play football.
If you think about it, I mean, 21 days, CDC says 10. Why would they need 21?
I believe if I'd have made the decision early on, like a couple of them had, that we were not going to play football, that's exactly where I would have left it at, and that's what we would have probably done, just not played football. I mean, that's just me.
If you go back to the original question, I think probably the coach that they have over there right now has less coach speak than any coach they've had in a while. He is as common can be. He butchers the English language.
He does.
And you know what? I'm okay with that. And I think everybody else is okay with that. I mean, it goes to show you that, again, I think if you are if you're a charlatan there, if you're one of these guys that really relies on slogans, mottos, and coach speak, you're really eloquent, and he's far from it. He doesn't want to speak, and he's just an old football coach. And so I tend to believe that he's really not worried about impressing you and impressing me. I think his main concern is I'm going to impress those guys in that locker room, and so.
Well, guys, don't you think he knows how to coach? Because you just don't coach at Alabama if you don't know how to coach.
And Georgia, and Florida State.
And Florida State. I mean, he's been at some pretty high programs. I mean,
and done well.
I mean, I just don't think you could be the defensive coordinator at Alabama and not be a good football coach.
I think he's learning the. When you're a head coach, I mean, there's a lot more to the process than being a coordinator. When you're as far as demands on your time. But you know what? When he was defensive coordinator at Alabama, he wasn't worried about what plays Lane Kiffin was calling. He wasn't worried about what they were doing on special teams.
True.
He wasn't worried about the overall recruiting picture. He was worried about his recruits He wasn't worried about, the boosters and speaking of these groups right here. He wasn't worried about that meeting with the AD. He just
Jeremy Pruitt show.
Yeah.
There's so much.
So he's now having to manage all those, and there's a learning curve. I don't believe the learning curve is football. I think he knows football, and it's evident because he can talk football on both sides. But now again, managing all those pieces right there is, I think, the biggest learning curve he's probably had.
He probably didn't speak at Alabama but once or twice a month, maybe, if that. As a defensive coordinator,
I'd say maybe once, twice a year.
Well, that might be true too. Once or twice a year.
Yeah.
But I think everybody thinks the problem at Tennessee, though, guys, just to be honest with you, is the offensive coordinator. It's Chaney. That's who they think. They think that's the problem. I mean, Pruitt's made a couple comments about some plays that
I think Chaney. You look at his track record. He's been around the game a long time. And people that know football and know Jim Chaney, I think Jim Chaney is handcuffed with a very inconsistent quarterback. And I would, the analogy I would use that, if you give a basketball coach a very inconsistent point guard, it's maddening. Am I going to get, 20 points and 10 assists one night, and the next night I'm going to get 6 points and 12 turnovers? It's maddening. It drives you crazy. And I think that's what Jim Chaney's got, and he's got he's got some good pieces. He's got a couple good running backs. He's got an offensive line that has been inconsistent, but now you just don't know what you're going to get with the guy slinging the rock.
And he's got a freshman quarterback that's supposed to be really good that he didn't get to spend any time with.
Spent no time with him, and has got no reps. And again, is he ready to play in the SEC? He's not had those powder puff games. He's not had those UT Chattanoogas, those FBS games to play those to get some of these younger guys ready. It's an all SEC schedule, and that's a factor in it too.
Heard that. Got a couple lines here. Let's get them. Quick caller, you're on the air.
Hey, good evening there, David. You and Jonathan and Jody, I've got a question for you there. I've heard it brought up a little bit there, and I'll ask this question, hang up and listen to you guys' response there.
Okay.
Would Garantano or Tano or whatever, Turnover or whatever his name is, will he be eligible to return again next year for a sixth season? And I'll hang up and listen, guys. Thank you.
I think the answer to that question is yes, right?
Yes.
All eligibility is basically non-existent. So anything that this is basically a free year
for every sport.
You think he's going to come back? I don't think he'll come back for another year. Does the university have to sign off on that? The football program have to sign
that
off?
I don't know. That I don't know.
Does
I just know there's no eligibility.
What's that about the amount of players you can have on scholarship?
Well, I think that will, of course, have to be waived because I don't know if it's the university has to sign off on it, because if so, they're going to have to waive the scholarship limit, the roster limit, because those will be all over the limits. Yeah. But now, again, I would be shocked. I mean, you've been misaligned by fans. You've had a very up and down career. Now he may finish this year like he did last year, but I just
that puts Jeremy Pruitt in a tough situation.
I don't know why he would want to come back.
Yeah, I don't either. So anyway, let's get this caller. Quick caller, you're on the air. Hello. Hello.
Bubble bath.
I can hear him breathing, but that's about it. All right. If you ain't talking, I ain't listening then. So here's somebody breathing. That's about it. Hey, where's Jesse at tonight?
They had that show tonight where they did a pregame, a halftime, and then a postgame show covering all the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
So he's...
well, I know he just hadn't called, and he usually calls, so I didn't want to get out of here before he called. So
might be asleep.
Think he's asleep?
Yeah, or hanging out with Powell football team. He's covering them tonight.
He's covering them tonight, you think?
Yeah.
He likes covering them, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's his favorite football team, not
It is. It is. A lot of hurt feelings out there because he likes Powell so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well. Yeah. Oh, well. All right, folks, we've enjoyed it tonight. Jody, glad you got to come down again tonight. Man, come back next week if you want to. Just come on. I mean,
we'll be in Ray County next week.
Well,
I'll be rolling.
Call us in or something as you come through. Well, I don't know. Once we go to playoffs, folks, we change a little bit how we'll operate here. So, you know, as the teams dwindle out, we'll ease out of here a little earlier and earlier, and eventually we won't be here. So I'd say we'll be here for the next couple of weeks anyway, probably. Not unless everybody next Friday night gets knocked out. So
you'll be here for the next 3 weeks.
I think we'll be here for the next couple of weeks for sure. So we'll be right back on at 10 o'clock, and I think playoff games start at 7. Playoff games start at 7 instead of 7:30. So get out to a football game, and we'll see you right back here next. Huh?
Buy all your tickets online too.
Do what? You got to buy all your tickets online?
Yep. All tickets.
All tickets have to be bought online? Is that a TSSAA site?
Yeah, there'll be schools will probably be releasing that link, but I don't think anything's going to be sold at the gates. But everything's online this year.
Everything's online. All right. So join us right back here next week at the 5-Star Prep Friday Night Scoreboard. It ought to be interesting. First round of the playoffs. We'll see who moves on and who doesn't. We'll see you next week here on the 5-Star Prep Friday Night Scoreboard. Good night.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the hot water wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Renai, hot water for all.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 110,000 participants here in Tennessee who take part in high school sports.
Breaker, good buddy. We've just rolled in from Georgia with a truckload of throw rugs.
That was back in my truck driving days, many years ago. Rugs are still rolling in from Georgia every month, featuring Oriental and contemporary area rugs, carpet-style throw rugs, and much more. All rugs are sold at the lowest prices possible. Find your rug at Hammer Stores.
I am a Simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a Simplicity dealer.
SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the Hot Water Wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Renai, hot water for all.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 110,000 participants here in Tennessee who take part in high school sports.
Breaker, breaker, good buddy. We've just rode in from Georgia with a truckload of throw rugs.
That was back in my truck driving days, many years ago. Rugs are still rolling in from Georgia every month, featuring Oriental and contemporary area rugs, carpet-style throw rugs, and much more. All rugs are sold at the lowest prices possible. Find your rug at Hammer Stores.
I am a simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a simplicity dealer.
SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the Hot Water Wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Renai, hot water for all.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 110,000 participants here in Tennessee who take part in high school sports.
Breaker, breaker, good buddy. We've just rode in from Georgia with a truckload of throw rugs.
That was back in my truck driving days, many years ago. Rugs are still rolling in from Georgia every month, featuring Oriental and contemporary area rugs, carpet-style throw rugs, and much more. All rugs are sold at the lowest prices possible. Find your rug at Hammer Stores.
States Friday, including Minnesota, scene of a most unusual Trump rally.
Chairs were set up 6 feet apart, and there were only about 250 people allowed inside the Rochester International Airport grounds, and that was all due in part to a back and forth between state and local officials and the Trump campaign.
They thought he would cancel, a word they are very familiar with, cancel culture.
Since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the hot water wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Renai, hot water for all.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 110,000 participants here in Tennessee who take part in high school sports.
Breaker, good buddy. We've just rolled in from Georgia with a truckload of throw rugs.
That was back in my truck driving days, many years ago. Rugs are still rolling in from Georgia every month, featuring Oriental and contemporary area rugs, carpet-style throw rugs, and much more. All rugs are sold at the lowest prices possible. Find your rug at Hammer Stores.
I am a simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a simplicity dealer.
SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the hot water wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Renai, hot water for all.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 110,000 participants here in Tennessee who take part in high school sports.
Breaker, Breaker, good buddy. We've just rolled in from Georgia with a truckload of throw rugs.
That was back in my truck driving days, many years ago. Rugs are still rolling in from Georgia every month, featuring Oriental and contemporary area rugs, carpet-style throw rugs, and much more. All rugs are sold at the lowest prices possible. Find your rug at Hammer Stores.
I am a simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a simplicity dealer.
SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We built our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
The final game. It's All Hallows Eve, and we saw that wonderful introduction that Brad put together that went through all of ours. And I tell you what, I didn't think I'd be scared this Halloween until I saw that picture of me pop up there. Aaron Harvey, James Gibson along with you. This is Midway hosting Oliver Springs. Possible playoff scenario going on tonight with Midway. They win this one, they get a home game. They lose this one, they go on the road. So we'll talk a lot about that in just a moment. But first off, I want to tell you that we are brought to you by OEB Law. OEB is an East Tennessee law firm with a national practice. OEB's led by Timothy G. Elrod, who is from and still calls Anderson County his home. OEB's practiced in state, federal, and city courts. At OEB, they treat their clients like family and are proud to have earned a reputation as East Tennessee's premier personal injury law office. And that's why they've been voted Best of Knoxville for the past 3 years. OEB Law is essential to us being on the air. I know essential takes on a different term this year in a pandemic world, huh?
Oh, it totally does.
But OEB Law is essential to us, and we thank them for allowing us to come here and talk to you on television and allow you to see a football game and allow us to see a football game. So, Week 11.
Wow.
My goodness. I'll be honest, I didn't think that we would get here.
No, I didn't either.
I really didn't. I thought it'd be canceled by now, but you know, it's not been perfect, but it's been high school football, and you really can't ask for much more than that.
No, we needed football to happen in 2020, if nothing more than a distraction from some of the horrors of our world and the current political environment. So thank goodness for high school football.
That's right. You know, Halloween, everybody dresses up. It's scary. It's supposed to be scary. You go to haunted forests and things like that, but we just look at a presidential election and say, that's enough. You don't need any haunted houses.
Well, we say that now, but we are south of the river, so it's untelling what we might see tonight.
That's true. We are in the Emerald Forest, also known as Midway, and this is where the Green Wave has had one heck of a season, and a win tonight would really put a stamp on the positive direction of this program.
Yeah, Midway is looking for their 7th win season in the last 19 years, and I like their chances with the likes of Emmett Heglin, who has thrown for over 2,137 yards, 27 touchdowns, and he's ran in another 7 for a total of 34 touchdowns. Aaron, that's impressive. He's one heck of an athlete, and his favorite target is Caleb Goodman. He's got over 752 receiving yards with 9 touchdowns on the season, and Jackson Snow, who also has 586 yards receiving and 10 touchdowns. They got some talent.
And we've seen Hagelin this year, a heck of a football player. Look forward to seeing what he can do tonight against Oliver Springs. And, you know, we've got so much to talk about, though, with a bunch of playoff scenarios. And so we'll get into that and more. And then, of course, we're going to see a great football game tonight here in the cold. It's already approaching the high 40s tonight as we speak right here. And I didn't wear long sleeves or a jacket, so you might hear me sniffling a little bit later when we get into this broadcast. But anyway, I'm looking forward to bringing you this final broadcast of the year right here on BBB TV Channel 12, brought to you by OEB Law. And we're going to try to go out with a bang. I hope we do. Should be a good football game tonight. So, tell you what, we're going to go ahead and take a break. And when we get back, we'll go over some of those playoff scenarios on your OEB Law Game of the Week.
OEB Law is excited to be a part of this year's football season. School spirit is at an all-time high. OEB Law is proud to give back and support our community. Come cheer on these great teams with us. And remember, if you've been injured or need legal help, OEB Law will be there for you. So visit wreckintoacheck.com or give us a call, 865-546-1111, and let OEB Law turn your wreck into a check.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak, it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Here is Helen Hammond. Thank you, Mr. Walker. A lot of years have passed since that TV ad.
Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low prices.
Race on down!
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the hot water wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Renai, hot water for all.
You won this year's chili cook-off. Our girls played in the softball finals last spring. You're not just another policyholder to us. We remember your name. Hi, Cheryl.
He remembered my name.
Because it's your name. That's simple human sense.
Ask Griffin Insurance Agency in Kingston if auto owners make sense for you.
Jeff, Mary, Dan, Sarah.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
And welcome back into your OAB Law Game of the Week. You see one of the observers there going back and forth trying to stay warm because it is that kind of night here tonight south of the river. We are at Midway. Oliver Springs is down for a Region 2 Single A matchup, and I'm just going to get into this because there is a lot to talk about. You hope this late in the season that you're playing for something of importance, and we do see that across the state tonight. Our wonderful producer, BBB TV Channel 12 owner Brad Jones, took the time to gather playoff scenarios for teams in our viewing area. So I didn't even have to do it. And I don't think I can tell you that little tidbit of information without also mentioning that former BBB TV 12 contributor Marty Maston was always a big part of this time of year, figuring out playoff scenarios with Brad for the station and viewers. Marty would have been 47 yesterday, and I know he was well loved to a lot of folks in the local area. You would have seen him officiating basketball games or hosting the Friday Night Scoreboard show or generally just being involved in the community. So let's dedicate this segment to Marty. So here we go. Region 1, 1A. Well, first off, let's go over these tiebreakers. Standings are determined by the number of region wins, not by the region win percentage. The first tiebreaker would be overall wins, not overall win percentage. At each step, you look to see if there was a head-to-head win. Region COVID wins count in this process. The remaining tiebreakers would then apply, and that's important. So here are the tiebreakers. A team with the greatest number of wins, a team with the greatest number of teams who win 50% of their games, team with the greatest number of victories over teams winning 50% or more of their games, team whose opponents have earned the most victories, teams whose opponents have received fewer defeats, and then a coin flip. So,
let's hope we don't get to the coin flip.
Yeah, I hope we don't. Okay, so here we go. Region 1 scenario. This one is very straightforward. No ties at all. You don't have to go head-to-head. And Hancock County is going to enter the playoffs with a 0-8 record.
You know, I hate seeing that, but I've got another thing. When was the last time you've seen anybody win Region 1 other than Cloudland?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
And Cloudland is pretty tough this year. It's Cloudland, and week as Coalfield defeated Oliver Springs. Coalfield gets that 1 seed, and Oliver Springs right now sitting in that second spot. They will have that second spot if they can win tonight. Greenback is watching this game carefully. Greenback's got Oakdale. They will probably be pretty favored to win against Oakdale. So, you don't want to write that in because that's why they play the game. But so here's the scenario for Midway, though. If they win this game tonight, Midway could finish second. And if Midway loses this game tonight, they'll be fourth.
A lot of stakes on the line. Midway would love to have a home game in the playoffs. That would be major for this program, as I can't imagine. I don't know when the last time that happened.
Yeah, it's interesting. Midway cannot finish third. They can't. You're either going to be second or you're going to be fourth. So, and we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. The Region 1 scenario for 2A, South Green will be the 1 seed if they win. Hampton will be the second, the 2 seed if they win, and then Happy Valley. Here's the scenario for them: if they win and Hampton wins, there's a 3-way tie. If Happy Valley wins and Hampton loses, Happy Valley will be the 1 seed. Listen, okay, there's a lot going on right there. You see it on your screen, so we'll be able to look into more of that once we see some final scores rolling in. But it's
a lot of possibilities.
It's great that this is week 11. It's the final week of the regular season, and you've got that many possibilities. You do know the 4 teams, though, so that's good. The Region 2 scenario here, and this is all set in stone now. Meigs County, they won the region. They went 3-0. Rockwood by way of defeating Oneida. Yeah, okay, so, that's set in stone. Rockwood is going to be the 2 seed. Oneida is going to be the 3 seed, and Cumberland Gap is going to be the 4 seed. So, got that figured out. Region 1 and 3A, Claiborne with a win, they are the 1 seed. Chucky Doak with a win, they are the 2 seed. Unless Claiborne loses, then they will be the 1 seed. Johnson County, you see there, if all 3 teams win, 3-way tie, they'll be 1. It will be, Claiborne 1, Chucky Doak 2, Johnson County 3, but if Johnson County wins and the top 2 loses, Johnson County will be 1. Yeah. So this one still has a lot to go to.
But still impressive that Claiborne County comes in with the number 1 seed there.
Yeah.
Long time coming.
Region 2, we know Alco is going to win that. Gallenberg-Pittman and Kingston, a huge game tonight, playing each other. The winner of that one is going to get the 2 seed, and the loser is going to be the 3 seed. And Pigeon Forge and Scott High.
Scott County Highlanders.
Yeah. Region 1 4A, Elizabethton is your winner. And then you've got Greenville. They are going to be your number 2 seed. Sullivan South is going to be the 3 seed. But Granger is still hanging on there. They'll be 4th if they win. But if they lose and Sullivan Central pulls a huge upset, then Sullivan Central would be the 4 seed. Yeah. Yeah, as it says... that would be a major upset. 4A Region 2. Anderson County's the winner. They're the number 1 seed. Howard, if they beat East Hamilton, they'll be the 2 seed. Otherwise, they're going to be the 3. And vice versa for East Hamilton. And then East Ridge and Hickson down there. You see what they're going through. If East Ridge wins, they'll be a 4 seed and Hickson's out. If Hickson wins, they'll be a 4 seed and East Ridge will be out of the playoffs. Region 1 5A, David Crockett, they're the 1 seed, even with a loss to Morristown East tonight. Tennessee High is your 2 seed, and Daniel Boone can get the 3 seed with a win over Cherokee, but Morristown East will be a 4 seed. If they beat David Crockett and if Daniel Boone loses, that would make Morristown East 3 and Daniel Boone 4. If both teams win, Daniel Boone will be 3 due to the head-to-head win. So... Region 2, South Doyle is the 1 seed with a Central loss, okay? Central will be the 1 seed with a win over Gibbs tonight, and they hold the head-to-head tiebreaker with South Doyle, so that's how that would work. A win for Halls makes them the 3 seed unless Central loses to Gibbs. Then Hall will be the 2 seed. Can you imagine that? Halls has a chance to be the 2 seed tonight.
With all the games they missed.
If Gibbs can pull off a pretty big upset tonight, defeating Central. And the 3 seed, if Carter beats Sevier County, they'll be the 4 seed. So, that's why that one is so crazy. So, Region 3, 5A, Knox West has run the gauntlet. They get that number 1 seed. And how about Oak Ridge pulling off that 2 seed? They get the home game at Blankenship Field. Powell slipped to that 3 seed, and Fulton gets in as a 4 seed after starting the season, 0-3?
Yeah, you just can't say enough about Oak Ridge. They've been up and down all season long, but there at the end, they really started playing their best football.
Yeah, Region 4, and we care about this because this affects your Oak Ridges and your pals. So Ray County's 3-0. They're the number 1 seed. Walker Valley is the 2 seed if they beat Saudi Daisy. Otherwise, they're the 3 seed, and then Saudi Daisy is vice versa. And then Lenoir City coming in winless in the region is the 4 seed. So based on that, you know that Oak Ridge is playing Saudi Daisy at Blankenship Field next week. Region 1 6A, Dobbins-Bennett. This one is completely nuts because you could end up with, because Alcoa beat Dobbins-Bennett last night, you could end up with a 3-way tie if Science Hill wins tonight and Farragut wins tonight. Because of that, you go to records, which eliminates Farragut and makes them the 3 seed. And then you look at Dobbins-Bennett and Science Hill, the head-to-head, and Dobbins-Bennett wins that head-to-head. So there's a lot of things to look at tonight in Region 1 6A. In Region 2 6A, Maryville's the number 1 seed. They're undefeated on the year overall. McMinn County coming in at 4-1.
I'm telling you, what a turnaround McMinn County's got.
Yeah, and McMinn County hung with Maryville in the first half of that game when they played. Bradley, okay, so McMinn County is going to be the 2 seed with a win over Bradley Central, but a loss will make them the 3 seed, and then Bradley Central vice versa. Ottawa, with a win over Cleveland, they'll be the 4 seeds. They'll be the 4th seed, but a loss would eliminate them, and with Cleveland, vice versa. So teams playing directly for seeding tonight.
Yeah, tonight's a big night.
Scenarios for the teams that we've been talking about all year long. A lot on the line, and we'll be scoreboard watching tonight as much as we can because we'll be, this is going to be an exciting game tonight.
Oh, yeah, to say the least. It's a really favorable matchup with both teams. Midway loves throwing the football. Oliver Springs loves running the football.
Yeah.
So it's untelling what we're going to see tonight. But I know one thing we're going to see, and that's a good football game.
I agree. It will be a good football game, and we'll talk about that good football game when we get back. You are tuned in right now to your OEB Law Game of the Week.
OEB Law is excited to be a part of this year's football season. All-time high. OEB Law is proud to give back and support our community. Come cheer on these great teams with us. And remember, if you've been injured or need legal help, OEB Law will be there for you. So visit recintoacheck.com or give us a call, 865-546-1111, and let OEB Law turn your wreck into a check.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We built our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak, it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Here is Helen Hammer.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low prices.
Race on down!
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
End the hot water wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Renai, hot water for all.
You won this year's chili cook-off. Our girls played in the softball finals last spring. You're not just another policyholder to us. We remember your name. Hi, Cheryl.
He remembered my name.
Because it's your name. That's simple human sense.
Ask Griffin Insurance Agency in Kingston if auto owners make sense for you.
Jeff, Mary, Dan, Sarah.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
And welcome back into your OEB Law Game of the Week as we get ready for our national anthem. Midway High School Marching Band. Wonderful performance of our national anthem. And you know what? I'm bummed out. That's the last time I'm gonna hear that on a football field for the rest of the year.
Wow. Yeah, you're right.
So anyway, once you hear that national anthem, you know that it's about time to boogie. So let's talk about this football game. And we've already talked about it, but Midway's got 2 good reasons to win this game tonight. The first is it could catapult the Green Wave into a 2 seed. In fact, it would. The second being, well, that's a home game next week. Oliver Springs coming off a tough defeat to Coalfield. Midway got drummed by Greenback last week. Who's madder and ready to prove something tonight?
Well, Midway was really looking to upset Greenback, to be honest with you. They thought their chances was pretty good. They thought they were in a good position to achieve. And the new focus is all on this Oliver Springs football team. Oliver Springs played in a very hard-fought game last week. They came down to the wire in a loss to their arch-rival Coalfield. So both teams are hungry for this victory tonight.
The scenarios give this game a bunch of meaning. Midway knows it's either a 2 seed with a home game or a 4 seed making a long trip up northeast to take on a tough Cloudland team. This is go time. It's easy, or I want to ask, actually, is it easy to turn off that pressure of knowing what's on the line? And do you think this Midway team is capable of that?
Well, as a coach, you preach 1 week at a time, 1 game at a time, right? You focus on the next challenge ahead of you. And this Midway bunch is totally focused only on this Oliver Springs football team. But with that being said, I guarantee you these coaches and these administrators and these fans have discussed the importance of a home game in the playoffs. This 2020 Midway football team is totally capable of beating this Oliver Springs team, but it's going to be a fight until the end. because Oliver Springs plays tough defense and is really playing their best football right now. Midway getting a win and getting that home playoff game would be huge for this small community south of the river.
Let me ask you this. This right here, is this football weather to you?
Oh, this is football weather.
This is football weather.
This is Lyman weather.
In the 40s. Okay, this is football weather. Okay, so and we are. It's in the high 40s right now. I mean, the sun has gone down. There is no source for heat other than, we've got this little heater under our feet.
If you look at the screen there, you notice a lot of these big guys, they ain't wearing sleeves. They ain't wearing them long socks. That's the skill guys. That's them wide receivers, the ones that need a little more meat on their body. They're the ones,
right.
They're the ones a little chilly.
Thank you for pointing that out. That's pretty funny. Didn't even see it. You could point it out right there. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I had no idea that was even one of the things. But football, it's a really unique sport because the weather changes so dramatically right in the middle of the season. And it's played outside, so you have to battle the elements. And sometimes battling the elements is about acclimation, but none of these players are going to be acclimated. So talk to me. What's the preparation like for the rapid change in weather?
Well, normally, one of the best ways to alleviate the shock from frigid temperatures on game day is to, assimilate with cold beforehand. Practicing in cold temperatures prior to game day allows your body and your mind to become familiar with the feeling of working hard when the weather isn't ideal. Both the mental and physical aspects are equally important, but the mental aspect might be the more difficult of the two. By exposing your players to circumstances similar to those you'll experience on game day, you get a much better idea of what to expect from your team when the day comes. Unfortunately, with the sudden drop of temperature as of tonight, these teams didn't have much of an opportunity to assimilate to the cold. So that may play a major factor in today's game.
Yeah, so both of these teams are playoff bound, so at least they get one game in these temperatures because it gets really cold in the playoffs. So Oliver Springs has won the toss. They will defer to the second half, and so we know what's going to happen. I got to ask.
Has got to stop the powerful running game of Oliver Springs and limit turnovers while also hitting some deep shots down the field, all while having limited penalties. Oliver Springs has got to control the line of scrimmage. They're bigger. They're stronger. They've got more depth on the line of scrimmage. They got to win in the running game and play really good coverage in defense.
Again, we'd like to thank OEB Law. OEB makes a car wreck case easy for you. From the moment you call or contact them, they start working on your case 24/7, collecting your data, hearing your side of the story, opening a claim with the insurance company, and giving you needed advice. They can now even handle most of the paperwork electronically to help expedite and make it more convenient for you. When you trust them with your case, they make it as simple and as easy as possible so you can focus on recovering from your accident. So when they say, we come to you, they mean it. OEB Law, go to reckontoacheck.com, call 865-546-1111 to see what they can do for you as we get ready for this football game to get underway. It's exciting.
It really is. Let's see what Oliver Springs' kickoff approach is here versus Midway. Last week they kept kicking it short, didn't want to kick it too deep to Cofield. Let's see if they've changed that up here a little bit.
So our kickoffs are sponsored by 4th District Roane County Commissioner Jerry White. That's actually our touchdowns tonight will be sponsored by Jerry White. Kickoff sponsored by Davis Funeral Home with 2 locations, one in Harriman, one in Wartburg. Call Rob or Preston Davis.
Take a look at the ball on the 40-yard line. It is on the ground, so anticipate a short kick.
And this is what they did last week against Coalfield, and it's taken at the 30-yard line and brought up to the 40, down to about the 43-yard line right in front of us. It's easy to see. It's Declan Brewer on the return, a tight end for this team. So not a bad guy to have the ball in his hands if you're Midway.
No, and that's coaching right there. They identified that last week on film and made adjustments to the
Hammers 1st and 10, ball officially spotted at the 42-yard line. And we get to see this young man for the first time, Emmett Hegland, first time tonight, rather. Well, it's a low snap, and the ball is on the ground already. Tried picking it up off the ground and scooping it forward to his running back, Ty Mason, and that went wrong from the very beginning, and it never got better.
No, it didn't lose too much there, so got to regroup, calm down, and try again.
Ball looks to be spotted between the 38 and the 39. So that should bring up, let's call it 2nd and 14. Haglund again in the backfield with Mason. And will hand the ball off, and Mason has nowhere to go. Dropped all the way back at the 31-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 21.
Looked like a little RPO there. Decided to hand the ball off and picked up nothing on the play. Great job by the Oliver Springs defense.
Yeah, we see on this Congressman Chuck Fleischman replay. Do you think Haglund just made the wrong decision there?
Not really, because there was pressure coming off the edge as well. He didn't really have a choice, so hand the ball off.
So Midway, on its first drive of this game, is in a pretty big hole.
Oliver Springs staying in the 3-man front.
So now 5 wide, empty set for Haglund. Gets the snap, steps up in the pocket, and will tuck and run, and maybe picks up a yard before he's smothered. 4th down, Midway will have to punt.
Oliver Springs defensive line doing a really good job of shedding blocks and getting off of the hands. Able to put some pressure on the quarterback.
Is Seth Gordon.
Now, something to keep an eye on in colder weather. Cold weather really affects your long snappers more than about anybody. So let's see if how this long snapper responds.
And I think that's spot on. We've seen some bad snaps tonight. And Tyler Bridges is going to let this one go. It will roll dead at the 30-yard line of Oliver Springs, and that's where the Bobcats will have a Hammers 1st and 10. Not a bad punt.
No. Low snap. Luckily, Oliver Springs didn't have any pressure on, so the punter was able to compose himself and get the punt away. Change the field position.
So you said the big beefy linemen don't wear sleeves. Should the center wear sleeves since the cold weather affects the snaps so much?
Actually, their long snapper is a skill position player.
Oh, okay. Well,
get back across the line of scrimmage. When you're a defensive lineman and you jump off sides like that, if you get back before the ball's moved, is not a penalty.
So this Hammers 1st and 10 quickly turns into a Hammers 1st and 5 as Midway encroaches on the play.
And if I'm Midway, I am stacking this box, and I'm run first defense right here.
Zach Elliott, the quarterback, handoff up the middle. Not much there for Gavin Hill.
Seth Brackett, the big junior linebacker coming in, meeting him in the hole.
So a pickup of 1 will make it 2nd and 4 as we see on this Chuck Fleischman replay. Wow.
Just a great job. Very good fundamental tackle by number 51.
Yeah, that's what a tackle is supposed to look like.
Or Midway.
This time, Elliott hands off. And trying to get to the outside, nothing to do it. And that was Hill again.
He's flowing to the football really well, and the main reason for that, Aaron, is because they have 5 men on the line of scrimmage there, defensive linemen. So the offensive linemen cannot get to the second level of the linebackers. It leaves them free to run and make tackles.
That's why I have you around. You explain that so well. Now you just got to figure out why you have me around. Elliott in the backfield, 3rd and 6. And Midway jumps again, and I see you. I see you shaking. You are not happy about that.
No. As a defensive line coach, I'm peeling my eyeballs back on that. You know, one thing that's driving me crazy is you see here on the replay, when you jump off sides, if the offensive line doesn't move and they don't snap the ball, you can get back across the line of scrimmage. Reset. They will not call the penalty. Don't hang out in the area.
Yeah. All right, so that makes it a 3rd and 2 for Elliott. Now we've got a stoppage and play as Oliver Springs wants a timeout on this big 3rd down. So they're going to talk about, see what they're going to do with 8:28 left to go in the first quarter here at Midway.
Excited to be a part of this year's football season. School spirit is at an all-time high. OEB Law is proud to give back and support our community. Come cheer on these great teams with us. And remember, if you've been injured or need legal help, OEB Law will be there for you. So visit wreckintoacheck.com or give us a call, 865-546-1111, and let OEB Law turn your wreck into a check.
The finale for us, the season finale. Oliver Springs has the ball, a big third down, 3rd and 2.
Now, if I'm Oliver Springs, and I'm going to go on a hard count here, see if I can't get them to move again.
They don't. It's Elliott on a quarterback keeper, and he didn't get it. And the ball came free.
That looks like.
And Midway's got it.
Or is he going to say he was down by contact?
They'll talk about it. Yeah, they're going to talk about it. Hang on, Coach Treadway. So Mr. Wyatt's going to come over and explain the situation.
I don't think it's going Coach Treadway's way.
Yeah, I don't think so. So we have the benefit of replay, so let's watch it. Elliott. Ooh. Yeah, that's hard to tell exactly when it comes out.
Either way, really good defense by the Midway Greenway.
Excellent defense.
Excellent. It was close.
It was really close.
Any way, Oliver Springs coming out in a tight formation here.
Wait, are they running 3rd down again? They're replaying 3rd down. And Hill breaks free on the left side, and Oliver Springs is going to have a 1st down as Hill crosses midfield and gets down to the Midway 49-yard line.
Was there a penalty?
I didn't see a penalty. I think if they can't determine if there was a fumble on the play, can they replay the down?
No, I think maybe the guy forgot to turn to 4th down or something.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, anyway,
unknown.
We've got a Hammers 1st and 10
First
regardless.
Time I've seen that.
Elliott, 2 guys in the backfield. Takes a snap, handoff. This time is going to go to Nation, and Brandon Nation powers forward to the 45-yard line. Pick up.
See what that is, but number 2 of Oliver Springs, Gavin Hill, did a really good job coming in and getting a block.
Wow, okay, so this is a personal foul on Midway. So the green wave is going downstream.
What was one of the keys to the game for Midway? Limited penalties.
Wow. Yeah, Midway player you saw there on the replay just kind of doinked him in the head. Not very smart. Hammers 1st and 10. Elliott sends a man in motion, and getting the jet sweep is Tyler Bridges. And we've got another flag as Bridges heads to the end zone. Touchdown, Oliver Springs. But it's probably coming back.
I'll tell you, though, Bridges has got some speed at 127 pounds.
Yeah, that's a hold on Oliver Springs.
Better be able to run.
Yeah, and that's why they put him back to return punts.
Oh, yeah, he's fast now.
So from the spot of the foul, looks like it is a couple yards up from the 1st down, the original 1st down. That will spot the ball at the 39-yard line.
Pretty good play call there by Oliver Springs. The Midway safety kind of got lost in transition there. I guarantee you, Oliver Springs will come back to that play.
So it's a 1st and 17 now for Oliver Springs. And look at Midway just packing that line. And he's going to tuck it and run. That's the play where he might have fumbled. And Elliott brings it up to the 35-yard line.
Still about 5 yards short of the original line of scrimmage. Yep. They really like that 4 wide stacked on one side of the field there. They ran that last week against Cofield, and I believe they ran about 4 to 5 different play variations out of that same formation. I guarantee you Midway has scoped that out. Let's see if they've changed up anything out of those formations.
2nd and 14. Elliott with another bunch formation to the right. Hands off to Nation. Nation breaks it free up the middle. Gets across the 20 down to the 15-yard line. Another
testament of that is because he plays linebacker. He kind of knows where flow's going to be, and he takes advantage of it.
You see a lot of flip-flopping there between linebackers and running backs. A lot of times they're built the same way. They can play the same position.
Well, I don't know if you remember a guy by the name of Hal Wilson.
There you go.
Played at University of Tennessee, one of the greatest linebackers in SEC history. A lot of people don't realize that he was an all-state, like a 5-star running back in high school. And John Chavis made a living off of running backs switching to the linebacker position.
Elliott on the Hammers 1st and 10 is going to keep it. This time going to the right, as that bunch formation was to the left, and gets a very decent gain there on 1st down. So that's one of the reasons why you line up in that formation. You run it to the left a few times, and that sets up the ability to run to the right.
One of the problems with the Midway defense is when you stack that line of scrimmage the way that you are 8 to 9 players, if he does squeak by them, he's picking up a huge gain.
We'll give Elliott 7 on that play. Brings up 2nd and a long 3. And again, that bunch formation sends Gavin Hill in motion.
Bracket again. He is a fine-looking linebacker for the Midway Green Wave. Does a really good job. He's lucky that he didn't overflow there. He's got to break down a little bit earlier, but overall, really good job. Good secure tackle.
That looked exactly like the tackle he made in the very first play of the game for Oliver Springs. On Hill, it looked the exact same to me. Great play. No gain on the play will bring up 3rd and a long 3. This time, Elliott goes back to his 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 2 backs in the backfield. Fakes the handoff to Nation. Hands off to Hill. Breaks the plane. Does he? Does he break the plane?
Calling him short.
No. Ooh, boy.
Real short. Right on.
They put that right on the goal line. Man, I thought he got in. And let's look at this Chuck Fleischman replay. Great run by Hill. Look at that cutback.
Yeah. The Midway's got it to break down.
Ooh.
Great run by the Oliver Springs Bobcats.
Yeah, he scored. I'm just going to say it. We have the benefit of replay. Okay, I'm not trashing anybody. Formation, 2 wideouts to the right this time, and the handoff goes to Nation this time, and he's in. It's a Jerry White touchdown, Oliver Springs.
Easy play call. Oliver Springs is bigger and stronger up front, so that is a call that I would definitely go back to. You see the push by the big offensive lineman. I believe Oliver Springs has 8 players over 250 pounds.
So Jacob Heilman enters the game to attempt this extra point. It's a high snap. It is down and wide right. Again, snapping problems. So what you said, cold weather makes a difference, and so far we've seen it make a difference in this game today. 3:34 left to play in this first quarter. Oliver Springs strike first. The Bobcats lead at 6-0.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
Forest, Oliver Springs leads over Midway 6-0 with 3:34 left to go in this first quarter as we get ready for our Davis Funeral Home kickoff. As it's Ty Lamance, Davis Funeral Home with 2 locations in Wartburg and Harriman. And then here's that kick. Just kind of rolls straight down the field, and it's picked up. And coming back the other direction with it looks like Seth Gordon.
We got flags on the play.
And we got flags, right there where that tackle was made. And this is this going against Midway? That'll back the Green Wave up 10 yards, and that's big because they would have had really good field position to start this drive.
Yeah, penalties really stifle drives, and you've got, in a close ball games, penalties make a huge difference. You cannot beat yourself. You're playing a good team. You can't be playing yourself as well.
Hammers 1st and 10 for Midway. And that scoring drive, 9 plays, 48 yards, took 6:33 off the clock. Took a lot off the clock. Here's a handoff, and wow, pile drive. That was Ty Mason driven down to the turf as we welcome Tim Elrod onto our broadcast. You know, I hate saying goodbye to my good buddy James Gibson. And I know he hates saying goodbye to me too. But you know what? I'm really excited every week when we get to talk to you. So
James does a great call, no doubt about it. I enjoy listening to you all talk back and forth, and we've got a great ball game here tonight, don't we?
We certainly do. This is your first experience here in Midway. What do you think about this place?
South of the river, that's what I hear.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's awesome. It's
receiver. And that time it was Caleb Goodman. That's his favorite target to go to, as we see on the Chuck Fleischman replay. Heglin's got a heck of an arm.
Yeah, he looks strong out there. That is a well-thrown ball. Oliver Springs is playing very aggressively right now, but, Midway, I just feel like they want to be a power team, and they don't need to get in a rush right now. I think they've got the line, it looks like, to do it, but Oliver Springs is just playing really aggressively right now.
Now, you're a really big high school football fan, and I know you have been for years, as Heglin is sacked. Brought down on the play by Oliver Springs' Brady Jackson, and that will bring up 4th down, and Midway's going to have to punt this football away.
Yeah, Oliver Springs has played explosive ball all year, really, if you think about it. They've had some explosive plays. They know how to win. Some things haven't went their way, but Midway is strong. They've been consistent all year in their play, so it makes for a good seeding matchup tonight.
Yeah, speaking of explosive, Tyler Bridges back deep to receive this kickoff, this punt, and this is going to go out of bounds after a really good Midway roll. And it looks like Oliver Springs will have possession with the Hammers 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line of the Bobcats. So what I was saying was, you're a really big high school football fan. You have been for years, and I know you follow all this stuff very closely, but how about this scenario tonight? Oliver Springs wins this, they're going to be your 2 seed. If Midway wins this, they're going to be your 2 seed. But if Midway loses this, they're going to be your 4 seed.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that way, I guess, considering everything that's happened this year, and I guess it makes sense because things just have been really off this year. But
you got that right,
to say the least. But things are always looking better and looking up, and I think we're going to have a good playoff season.
I do too. So that bunch formation to the left, and Elliott gets it to that playmaker that we were just talking about on a reverse. Flags are everywhere, however.
Oh, come on.
There's a pickup of a couple of yards. That's Bridges on that little reverse.
That was a straight-up pancake on that block. Everybody's seen it. They didn't need to throw that flag. That kid was playing ball.
There's 2 flags, though. There's one back there, and then there was one around here. Well, that's exactly what it was.
That was a pancake block. That wasn't a crackback block. He just put him on his back.
Let's see if we can see it on your screen. Boom.
I think he was on his side. I mean, he could have had his head around. It was a tough call. I'm sure the officials got it. They made the call.
This is going to bring up 1st and a mile. Midway's going to have to get this thing to Decatur. I'm sorry, Oliver Springs is. Elliott drops back to pass, and his first pass of the game is overshot and out of bounds.
Well, at least Oliver Springs is willing to throw that ball out there. They're not I think they know they have to mix it up. The more they run it, the more they pack the line, the more negative plays you're going to get like that. And,
Let's do some math here. The ball is on the 20. The line to make is the 49, which means it is 2nd and 29.